I'm worried about my espresso machine. I'm not.
That could be your headline.
It's not a joke.
No.
It's just I'm worried about my lathe.
Out there like
Just pillow.
who broke into my computer? Well, the back end data just exploded. I'm talking about getting rid of the machine, melt them down and turn them into prison bars.
Pillow.
I'm not a lawyer. The lawyers are lawyers. The lawyers are lawyers. The lawyers are lawyers. Get rid of the machines. I'm talking about getting rid of the machines.
Just pillow.
Who did this attack? Who did this cyber attack? So you have, the good geeks, and they patch it up and they fix it and they put up better protection, virus protection. But here's what my attorney said. He said
Just pillow. They took the pillow phone. Do you frequently go to Hardee's? Is that a common place you go?
Okay, that's pretty funny, David.
No, it's not. I'm not.
That could be your headline. The machines. I said I would have bashed through them and went to find a drive-through.
It's really incredible, the branding around that.
He said, no, you're not getting my phone. I said, arrest me. I've done nothing wrong. He said, no, we're not going to arrest you. I said, well, you can do anything. You hack in, and you can get rid of the machine. I'm talking about getting rid of the machines.
I'm worried about my pillow.
No, dude, that's the worst thing for you because your cervical nerves in your neck, I will send you some pillows.
I'm worried about my lathe.
I'm talking about getting rid of the machines.
Okay.
Melt them down and turn them into prison bars.
Just pillow. All right, thanks, Mike.
Good.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yep.
Trump was doing this with his personal toilet.
But sinks, toilets, and showers.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements in bathrooms.
We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements in bathrooms.
What on earth is going on with Trump and toilets? Trump's White House toilet would be clogged with documents that Donald Trump was flushing down the toilet. Is this the explanation?
Big, massive dumps.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15
Trump was doing this
times.
with his personal toilet.
Elements in bathrooms.
And showers.
Big, massive dumps.
Elements in bathrooms.
Duty. 10 times, 15 times. Not me,
Elements in bathrooms.
God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Elements in bathrooms.
Are you looking for a place to watch some news where people don't yell while wearing suits? I know of a guy who fits that bill, a progressive with political will. Watch David Paxton Show, see your political knowledge grow. Sign up for a membership now for the bonus show that's best in town.
Who's the current president of the United States?
Who's the current president? Well, I guess it's a funny question.
Watch David Paxton Show, see your political knowledge grow. Sign up for a membership now for the bonus show that's best in town.
Well, you tell me, is there a president right now, I guess?
Well, I'd rather not answer that. How's that?
Aggravation. Watch David Paxton Show, see your political knowledge grow. Sign up for a membership now for the bonus show.
I've been growing this one huge pepper all summer. It's time to pluck it.
Sign up for a membership now for the bonus show that's best in town.
Then he went, Donald Trump, I love Donald Trump, but no more drop box. The drop boxes are just so bad. No more drop boxes. Dickinson, Hologic, and Cephahide. That was about a guy a rhino named Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, real beauty. Had to give the American people their voice back by building something called Truth Central. He voted against Kate's law, and he voted for Obama amnesty. You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel. and he's doing great. I've had more investigations than Jesse James, Billy the Could. Some of the world's greatest cricket players, from Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli. As the great religious teacher, Swami Vivekananda once said. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation.
And God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
He was awarded the Bronze Star and the Combat Infantryman Badge for his service. We have to keep our country gay, but it's not, for some reason, it's just not great anymore. If you care about law and order, look, law and order. In normal times, roughly 40% of fresh vegetables and about 40% China. Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient. This is not about virtue, cycling, and signing. And the great General and President Ulysses S. Grant, he's really come back a long way over the last 10 years, hasn't he? We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. When they gaze upon Yosemite's towering sequoias, they delivered a swift and sweeping, sweeping. It was swift and it was sweeping like nobody's ever seen anything happen. Units of plasma for plasma. Donate plasma. In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, gutless coward. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed, the leading woman's business. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. No, nobody has to have parental consent. And we will totally oppose the Biden administration. This administration.
He made some statements, rough statements on Jewish. You heard them and you know them well.
All right. Welcome, everybody. What a day, what a day, what a day. We are here and moments away, potentially, from the start of the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump originally reported as planning to announce his candidacy next Monday, but it is now apparent to some that it will be tonight. Now, where did I get that? Well, I got it from Trump himself. I mean, don't take my word for it. Listen to this.
Probably have to do it again, but stay tuned.
This is from yesterday's rally. Okay, let me skip ahead for you.
That's pretty good. Thank you. Stay tuned to tomorrow night in the great state of Ohio.
There it is. And that is tonight. That is tonight. And there are now multiple reports. Trump wants to announce he is running for president ASAP. Could come as early as Monday. That is quite a claim. Quite a claim. And we will be standing by for it everywhere that you can imagine. Now, let's just get our imagery completely appropriate for everybody. Only the best for my audience. Let's tweak and we will get this. It's just going to be a perfect thing for you. There we go. And there we go. And we'll just dump it here and then stretch and pull and the entire thing. There we go. Trump expected in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. All right, everybody. Very, very important stuff. Eric says, where do we find a link to that new supercut before the stream of Trump-isms? I laughed out loud quite a few times. We're expanding it. Once we have a final version, we'll make it available. So if you have specific Trump glitches that we didn't include, please email info@davidpakman.com and let me know, ideally with a link, and then we'll add the additional Trump glitches. Sachin Tendulkar, Vivekananda, and all of those. Okay? So very, very exciting stuff. Now, it's great to see everybody, and it's all very important, and Trump may announce, and tomorrow is the election, and we're going to be live. But I do want to remind everybody, you'd better damn well be voting tomorrow, okay? Whether it's Hefsefahide or for whatever different reason. These are the most important midterm elections I have ever covered. We are now at an inflection point. Tomorrow between 7 and 8 Eastern, we'll start, okay? We are at an inflection point. Are we, as a country, saying, okay, the 4 years of Trump, that was bad. We brought in Joe Biden, and now we're going to reject these anti-democracy, authoritarian, clueless, some of them are mentally ill, lunatics. We're going to reject it, and we're going to go back to sanity. That's one possible outcome. The other possible outcome is we had the 4 years of Trump. We thought we were getting out of it when Biden won. And now it's doubling and tripling down. And, as Thomas Homer Dixon said, could the U.S. become a right-wing dictatorship by 2030? I believe that in 10, 20, 40 years, this midterm and the 2024 election, which depends on this midterm, will be a critical inflection point in American history. That's my prediction. I don't make too many predictions because, quite frankly, humans are pretty bad at making predictions, but that is my prediction. Now, it's not looking great in many ways. There is an 84% chance that Republicans take the House of Representatives, okay? And there is now a 58% chance that Republicans win the Senate. Now, this is the 538 average. I'm going to tell everybody right now, I don't believe that this polling is accurate. What is the actual polling is a different question, which is irrelevant at this point in time. And what I mean by that is, I have one vote, you have one vote, everybody has one vote. You either live in Pennsylvania or you don't. If you live in Pennsylvania, you get to vote Mastriano versus Shapiro, Oz versus Fetterman. Okay? There are all sorts of different claims being made that the polls are wildly inaccurate this year. Fine. Then we'll find out tomorrow night. Okay? It doesn't make a difference. We have a vote. A lot of these races are extraordinarily close. And we will know the answers tomorrow night. Now, let me speak again to the people who keep emailing me and say, David, I feel like it's pointless. These elections never come down to one vote. Now, of course, that's true. But this is the important thing. There's a whole bunch of people out there who go, I just vote for all the Democrats on the ballot. There's a whole bunch of people out there who just say, I just vote for every Republican on the ballot, whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of people out there who go, I don't know that I'm going to vote because one vote never made a difference. You're not alone in saying that. Think of yourself as part of a group of voters. All of us who think to ourselves, should I bother? It never comes down to one vote. If all of us who have that thought stay home, they win. If all of us who say it never comes down just to my vote say, wait, but together we can make a difference. If we all go and vote, then we win. So when that thought occurs to you, and I know it occurs to many, well, my one vote won't make a difference. You're not the only one thinking that. Your vote is just as important as everyone else's who thinks that. And if you all stay home, then we lose. Sorry, I just froze there because it was so profound what I just said. Okay, I've recovered. Thank you. In all seriousness, folks, this is very important. All right, let's get to some super chats that are coming in here. Did I see Ted Cruz was booed at the Houston Astros parade? Yes, in fact, he even had a beer thrown at him, I guess. Check this out. Oh, wow. A very powerful gentleman stepped in front. I'm against this, guys. I am fine with booing, and I am fine with voting Ted Cruz out. I am not for throwing beers at people's heads. You could really hurt someone. You will never see me endorse that type of thing unless it is self-defense. Okay. So it's a waste of a beer. Ted Cruz isn't even worth the beer. I'll tell you. That's my view about the whole thing. But yes, that did happen. That did indeed happen. Other super chats. If he does announce tonight, it's obvious he thinks it will provide cover from indictment over the stolen documents. Absolutely, to some degree, even though Merrick Garland has said it will not. And thanks to Samuel Crowder for the super chat. David, I live in red upstate New York. What are your thoughts on the governor's race in New York? I have not been following it closely, I admit, so I am not the best person to comment on it. But we will be covering it tomorrow night for sure, without a doubt. So we'll have the results. It's just not a race I've looked at very closely. Okay, let me say thank you to a whole bunch of people because we have a goal of 1,000. Folks, listen to this. When we started with these final streams on Thursday, I said we want to get to 1,000 at the end of the Tuesday live coverage, okay? We may get there tonight. I want to say thanks to Softball Saul, Shot X Thomas, Beaver Wings, Rubbin' Your Rhubarb, and Sling Blade for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, okay? That's 853. And then a big thank you to Chrissy Wolf and Jason Sickmeyer for signing up at joinpacman.com. That is 854 and 855. Now, I have something here for you. This is very, very important stuff. Let me bring this in. Okay, here it is. You have choices in what you can get for $8, okay? You can get a meaningless Twitter blue check mark, okay? Or you can get 4 memberships or 4 months of membership to the David Pakman Show with the bonus show, which of course Alex Jones absolutely hates. Globalist, internationalist, Trotskyite socialists, unlike Obama, Trudeau, Macron. Exactly. All right. You have choices when it comes to $8, and I will leave it to you to judge which makes the most sense. How many mangoes can you get for $8? I think a lot, quite frankly. Mangoes have come down under the Biden regime. That's for damn sure. All right, let's look at a few other things here. Where are we? Oh, over here. We are over here. A bunch of crazy stuff is happening at this Trump rally. Let's look at some of the stuff, and we'll have coverage of the Biden event tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy day. Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, who is also an anchor for Right Side Broadcasting, is basically straight up saying, if we don't have every result by like 2 a.m., we're just going to say it's fraud.
We do have a better chance of knowing who won and who lost an election.
I think so. I expect to know who won by like the middle of the night, maybe very, very early Wednesday morning. If we don't, and if Democrats try to extend the vote, I think they're going to have a very, very hard time doing.
Now remember, she's already lying to you. Extend the vote is different than we just haven't counted all of the ballots. A great example is Pennsylvania, which unfortunately counts slowly. They start only when polls have closed, and I think they stop at a relatively early hour. Nobody's extending the vote. Did you see how she quite literally mixed language for 2 totally different things? She's like, listen, I think it's absolutely fine to eat any kind of fruit you want. But at the same time, people are using apples to blow stuff up, and that's not okay. And so we're going to have to watch that. Wait, hold on a second. Using fruit for explosions has nothing to do with eating fruit. Why are you even mentioning these things together? I expect to know very early. But, you know, if Democrats try to extend the vote, nobody's extending the vote. The rules are very clear. If you're in line to vote at the time the polls close, you get to vote. They're not going to say, hey, you know what? It's Thursday. I don't know. Let's let more people come in and vote. It's not going to happen. They are setting this up to tell the exact same lies.
Doing it with any level of credibility. In 2020, they were able to do it because they claimed COVID, and
nobody was able to do anything.
They had this excuse, which we all know was baloney, because they had to go find more ballots and
nobody. So these are all, nobody had to, hey, we're losing. let's go look around for ballots and just, I don't know, let's take a couple weeks to figure out if there's ballots somewhere.
Do all of their ballot harvesting. But I think that's going to be really hard to do tomorrow. Because
Right. It's always hard to do. It's never happened. They don't do it. Nobody does it. This is a lawyer. Very dangerous, folks. Very, very, very dangerous.
Speaking of books, I think Brian Glenn wants to talk about them.
Oh my goodness, speaking of books.
Such a smooth transition.
By the way, the new thing is Christina Bobb, the woman on the left of the screen. She's not only Trump's lawyer, she's a host on RSBN, and now she's selling a book. And this guy now is going to like pitch the book.
Oh, I mean, the truth was never really told about President Trump and his
The truth wasn't toad. It also wasn't a frog.
Don't change because there's, thanks to former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, there's a book for that. FreeTrumpBook.com. FreeTrumpBook.com. That's right. The website says it all, actually. Small donation for a small fee for shipping and handling gets that book to you. But what a great way to actually lay out the accomplishments of President Trump, and it does.
Man, not the best diction for a guy who professionally speaks for a living. That's pretty wild stuff. I want to say thank you to Tommy Horseswill and Michael Jones, who just signed up on my website, pushing us to 857. Also, thank you to Jory Senner, Sirtvix, Blueberry Babe, Browncoat Loki, Laxer, Green Sauce, Creative Pixie, all of whom just signed up via Twitch Prime. And thanks to Tiny Sir Jen for gifting 5 subscriptions. Folks, we may be able to get to 1,000 tonight. And if we do, we're going to go for 2 on Election Day tomorrow. We're just keeping it going. Okay? Other super chats, they are just dumping in. Tiffy says, serious question, sir. I live in Ohio. My mother passed away last Thursday after submitting her absentee ballot. I'm sorry to hear that. Since she passed before Election Day, does her vote count? I actually don't know that. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Okay, 10 states allow it. There are 10 states in which if you legally cast the ballot during the early voting period, absentee or early, it still counts. There are states where it does not count. You have to Google that, okay? That information is available, and I'm very, very sorry to hear about that, Tiffy. Michael says Republicans would use the polls as proof the election was stolen if they lost, and their followers would mindlessly accept it as a fact. Of course they would. Republicans in 2022, we win or else. Yeah, we win, it was fair. We lose, it was rigged. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Let's continue with a couple of other clips from the rally. Let's see what else I had here. We already played that one. We did the Ted Cruz thing. We don't have a lot of time because Trump is expected soon. And again, he is potentially going to be announcing that he is indeed running. Here is Marjorie Trader Greene.
And I'm looking forward to serving on committees.
What's with the terrible audio at these rallies lately?
Here's what you can expect from Republicans. We will be investigating and holding people accountable. There's a lot of traitors and criminals that need to be held accountable.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know why the audio quality has just been so bad at these rallies lately. Remember this stuff?
And our incredible, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. Deal that included the largest agricultural worth of our farm product. But I think, Eric, they're not like they lived up. I used to check it every week. Are they buying? Are they buying? Further scream that his days are numbered. Trump, this is a gross prosecutorial misconduct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Antrifa is running the audio during these rallies. It's really crazy stuff. All right, couple more clips here for everybody. Let's see what else we've got from the rally in Ohio tonight. Let's see. Do we have anything even mildly worthwhile? Oh, J.R. Majewski, who I've interviewed, he's up there slamming Nancy Pelosi. Super classy.
Now, before I go, I have to ask the question. Has anybody seen Lion Tim Ryan or that drunk, nasty Nancy Pelosi, or my opponent, Marcy Kaptur, here tonight? Now, I'm a little disappointed in that. I was hoping Timmy the ass kicker and the Golden Girls of D.C. would actually show up.
Super good delivery, huh? Really, really good delivery. Oh, yeah. Did you guys hear about this? So transphobic Matt Walsh was on the Rogan show, and he claimed that there are millions of trans people on puberty blockers, but it seems it's more like 1,000 a year.
How many people have had this done?
Depends on what. I don't think we have exact numbers, but if we're talking about the drugs, millions.
You're talking about hormone blockers?
Yeah.
Millions
blockers
of kids have been on hormone blockers? Really?
I'm sure someone's going to fact check me on that, but my guess is that we're into the millions now at this point. Yeah, that would be my guess.
Wow.
I can say for double mastectomies, I read a report recently that there were over 1,000 done between 2016 and 2019, and when you compare that to how many were done between 2008 and 2015, it's a massive increase. And over 1,000 girls had gender affirming double mastectomies in that time frame.
And when you say girls, you're talking about prepubescent,
right? Minors, and that's just up until 2019, and then we know that.
Hold on a second. Prepubescent girls had their breasts removed. Do girls get breasts until puberty? Does that even make sense? I genuinely don't know. Do prepubescent girls have breasts? That just doesn't sound right. People are saying no. Some do. Look that up. I just don't know. Okay. Well, I mean, it's sort of graphic, but the answer is basically no. There can be changes to the nipple. Man, that's one of those things where you hear it and you're like, wait a second. Prepubescent girls are having their breasts removed. That doesn't really make sense.
Over 1,000 girls had gender affirming double mastectomies in that time frame.
And when you say girls, you're talking about prepubescent,
right? Minors, and that's just up until.
Oh wait, now hold on a second. He said yes, prepubescent minors. Now minor could be a 17-year-old who's not prepubescent. See, this is why this stuff is such nonsense. Did you listen to that closely? Are you talking about prepubescent? And he says, yes, minors. That's a completely different thing. That could be someone who's 17 years and 10 months old.
Gender affirming double mastectomies in that time frame.
And when you say girls, you're talking about prepubescent,
right? Minors,
right? Minors. Super dangerous. Super dangerous. I want to bookmark that because that actually is something I might want to cover. That's crazy. I mean, this guy's clueless. It's unbelievable. Nothing he's saying makes any sense. Right. As people are pointing out, prepubescent and minor are two completely different things. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying stuff. So that's Matt Walsh, one of the foremost authorities, according to the right, on issues of gender. Prepubescent girls having breasts removed. I mean, it's wild. It's really, really wild. Let me get to some other super chats. The Dude says, David, sir, do you think it's because of the Democrats having to convince such a wide range of people to vote for them and the Republicans only have to get the nutcases to vote? Is that why they struggle with messaging so bad? No, I don't think so. Democrats are just not good at messaging. And we've talked about it extensively. Matt Walsh seems way too interested in minor children. I have noticed that he's obsessed with the topic. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay. I want to say thank you to Thug Chuckles, Pack Fans, Highgull, Braided Dragon, Just Starly, and Fun for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 874. Also, big thank you to Susan Foster, Joe Rader, and Lisa Rader, all who just signed up and gifted memberships on my website. Now, folks, we are giving away memberships almost faster than I'm able to make lasagna, which takes like 45 minutes. I made one tonight. If you want a free membership, simply go to davidpakman.com/free membership. It's really simple. Don't email me. We have memberships to give away. I'll tell people how to gift them a little bit later. But just go to davidpakman.com/free membership to ask for a free membership. How many pieces of lasagna did I have? I had one. How many? It's lasagna. How many am I going to have? What kind? It's I made a zucchini and eggplant lasagna. No, I know. The 45 minutes is the baking time. It's absolutely true that it took a little longer than an hour. Here's the way I do it, and I know that I'll probably lose half the audience when I explain this. There's a very simple Martha Stewart ricotta lasagna recipe. You just add whatever you want to it. You just follow the recipe, and then you add layers of whatever you want. You could do ground beef. You could do spinach. Saute the spinach and then make a layer. You can do, like I did, a layer of zucchini and then a layer of that. You can just make it however you want. No. It's a regular lasagna with pasta, and then you add the layers of vegetables as you want. So you go, sauce, noodles, cheese, eggplant, noodles, sauce, cheese, zucchini, etc., etc. Okay, let's see what's going on.
Live as we are waiting, and we are all eyes to the sky right now.
Yeah, okay. Super simple, okay? Super simple lasagna. Don't be scared of it. In fact, some people like to do lasagna on Thanksgiving instead of going through the entire turkey thing. For me, I'll do 2 chickens instead of turkey. It's like, it takes 4 hours. It's not that good. It's just not that good, okay? I recommend 2 beautiful pasture-raised chickens, crispy skin, takes you an hour. Not a problem whatsoever, okay? And I'll continue to make that case. Let's listen to a couple of voicemails here and see what we have.
Hey, David. It's Thomas from South Carolina. Just wanted to let you know that I'm a younger guy. I'm 17. I've been listening to the show for about 6 months now. Been into politics for a few years. Was kind of on the right until Trump came into view, and then I was like, okay, this guy's ridiculous. And now I'm a proud progressive, and just wanted to let you know that I would be, if I could vote this year, I would be voting blue straight down the ballot.
Folks, this is what I'm talking about. Did you guys hear that voicemail? Did people hear that voicemail? This is what I'm talking about. It's not theoretical that shows like this actually make a difference when it comes to reaching young voters. The right understands this. They dump money on Charlie Kirk. They spend so much money reaching people on campuses. It's because we need to be doing the outreach. They know it works. Did you hear that perfect phone call, folks? This is what I'm talking about, folks. The right gets it. This is why you start hearing there's more and more college students going Republican. We should be crushing with the college students. Okay? And by the way, you could make these folks progressive by you don't even have to talk about politics. You can simply go to them, hey, here are tools for how to think. Apply them to the real world. They'll all come out progressive. It's not indoctrination. Oh, by the way, people saying the Trump, I have something very special for you guys. Check this out. When did I send this? Listen to what I found. Listen, tell me if this rings a bell, okay? Really makes you think. We have a country where 74 million people voted for a man who kept none of his promises after convincing some of the fools that Mexico would pay for a wall that we were obviously never going to build. We have a country where our airports are filled with Starbuckses and you can't get a decent cappuccino no matter how much you pay. I have children who are desperate for me to love them, in particular Eric, and sadly, I don't. Baron's okay, but I make my wife call me sir. Anyway, so we found the song. We found the song, which is very, very exciting, for lack of a better term. Lack of a better term, yeah. Okay, we are moments away, ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump rally at which he is expected maybe to announce that he is running. Okay? Oh, that's right. Hold on. That's a famous Trump line. If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I would be dating her. Yeah. Thank you to Kelly Martin, Tommy Horseswill, and Jeremy Eiler, who just signed up on my website, putting us at 880. Also, thanks to Ron is Twitching, who signed up via Twitch and is number 881. Okay, let's do a couple other voicemails if I can find them.
Hey, Deepak, my computer's down. That's why I keep calling you. But hey, that recipe for lasagna sounds great. The eggplant, zucchini, excellent. Done it. But hey, try this spaghetti squash that comes out of the squash like noodles, and then bake it with that, but make your best spaghetti sauce, whatever you want to put in.
You know, I'm not big on spaghetti squash. I'm actually, I got some beautiful butternuts for tomorrow. But I'm not huge on spaghetti squash, but I've got a great recipe for butternut. This is really butternut season in the Northeast. Beautiful butternut squash. I know it's a very phallic vegetable. A lot of childish pranks are played with butternut squash because it does look like a twig and berries. I will admit that, but you basically cut it in half and roast it beautifully. Okay. In the meantime, saute a bunch of mushrooms. When you take the butternut squash out of the oven, it's already cut in half. You've got like the hole. In the hole, you put some cottage cheese, sprinkle the roasted mushrooms on top of it, and then you can add, I like a little bit of a spicy oil. Enzo's is a very good spicy oil. Little salt and pepper. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The only issue is I can't touch butternut squash. I have a condition called butternut squash dermatitis, and I know that people are going to laugh at this. It's a legitimate condition. It's a legitimate condition. If I touch the inside of a butternut squash, my hands become red and painful, and it's called butternut squash dermatitis. I encourage you to look it up. It's quite a condition. So I will have to figure that out, I guess I would say. Okay, thank you very much. Tyler says, David, sir, any thoughts on Mills versus LePage in Maine? I have not been following it closely, I admit. David, can't wait to hear the Obama sound tonight. Well, let's do it. Hold on, where is it? Where is my Obama? Oh, it's under glitches. Here it is.
A rhino named Mitt Romney.
That's not.
Obama.
There it is. Look how juvenile and Trumpian the news ticker is. Instead of Republicans leading by a wide margin, it reads Republicans majorly leading. Yeah, it's a language atrocity. There are language war crimes being committed at the bottom of this broadcast for sure. David, respectfully, you have to get yourself a smoker and smoke the turkey. Game changer with smoky tears in my eyes. Keep up the good work, sir. Smokers seem like a lot of work. I have never had a smoker. Thanks to Rar for signing up via Twitch Prime, as we are moments away from Trump's arrival. This is a very important evening. This is the last night. It's the last night before election 2022. There is the belief that Donald Trump will be announcing tonight, although I believe that the RNC did not want him to do that. it does appear as though Trump is kind of pointing towards announcing tonight. Now, as I've told you before, I believe tonight is the beginning of one of the craziest 2-year cycles in American politics that we will ever have seen when it is all said and done. I believe that because this is a setup election. How many states can Republicans take control of, and how many seats can they win in the House and Senate, such that they may be able to steal an election in 2024? If Trump runs in particular, it will be evident that that is their plan. We must build the left. The right gets it, and the left, to some degree, doesn't. Okay? I can talk to you about us. We're growing as much as we can. We've got the second and third YouTube channel. We're developing and will soon be releasing a number of different guides and white papers. We're doing the live streams daily in addition to the podcast. We just switched podcast platforms to better provide features. We're doing absolutely everything we can. The only thing I'm asking you for is to show your support by getting a membership on my website. Okay? This is really, really, really easy. And nobody's taking slices of this. Super chats, all these at Twitch, it's all great, but people are taking. Nobody takes here. We just pay 2% to swipe credit cards. Very reasonable. You go to joinpacman.com. You do monthly or you do yearly. I don't care. I just want you involved. Okay? Hit the sign up button. You see the coupon code up above my head. It's Indict. Forget about it. Do not use that coupon code. Okay? Use the coupon code Obama. Look at this, folks. Look at this. All right? For $8, you can get a blue check mark on Twitter for a month, or 4 people can get memberships. Think about that, okay? In all seriousness, this is going to be a crazy couple years. And I think it would be really great to add your name to our list of supporters. We give you a lot of great perks, and I will thank every single person who signs up if I'm able to. It does not come with a hat. It does not come with a hat. Our goal is to get to 1,000. I think we can do it tonight, my friends. I really do. We're only 116 away. Thanks to Kahaley for signing up via Twitch. And if you're watching via Twitch, by all means, Twitch counts as well. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription. It's free. It's free. You're getting money from Bezos and sending it to us, which is just a great thing. Thanks to Surge, who just gave out a subscription there. Okay? And they sign up for subscriptions. And then they sign up for more subscriptions. And independent media grows. Okay. I think it's very patriotic. I know. It's extraordinarily patriotic. Let's do a couple other voicemails. I don't think we have a ton of time here.
Hey, David, Mike from Austin, and love the show, longtime fan. Had a quick question, man. So lately I've been hearing what sounds to be like maybe a toddler or a small child's voice in the middle of the podcast, and it's like a quick like shout maybe, or a blurt, and you don't really hear it again. So man, I just picture like your infant out there running a mess in the studio. Maybe your lady's chasing after her, or whoever you have watching after the kid. And
No, that's producer Pat. You must have heard wrong. That's producer Pat whining in the background. No, in all seriousness, yeah, my studio is temporarily at home because we're in the middle of a relocation of the studio, which, by the way, new studio is going to be nice. New studio is going to be very nice. And occasionally, what my daughter now has taken to doing is basically screaming her way into naps. She's down to 3 naps a day, but she wants to nap, but she insists on screaming into the nap. And, it's not the most exciting moment of the day, let's say, but we deal with it the best we can. That's for damn sure. But no, let's go with it's producer Pat whining.
Hey, David, what is your very powerful position on dates? And by dates, I mean the fruit dates. Thanks for all you do, bro.
I think dates are great. A really, really great. And people will say, "Oh, sir, there's so much sugar in dates." Okay, yeah, there's some sugar in it. The dates have sugar, but it's not a refined sugar, and they're high in fiber. One of the great things you can do with dates is you open up the date and you cut it in half, and you stick an almond right in there. Bite it together, delicious. Some people will add peanut butter. You could add just like you could add like a super dark chocolate chip to it. Great, very, very good snack. I highly, highly support dates. Let's put it that way. Thanks to Motheroo, Trekker Bear, and Toki Token, who are subscribed via Twitch Prime. This is a dystopian, totalitarian moment. These rubes have been bilked out of their money to support a guy who doesn't give two shits about them. And he uses the money to refurbish his plane. And now he shows up with the plane and they cheer. These people have been scammed to high heaven. It's really something else. Really something else. Folks, we are experiencing massive dumps of memberships right now on the website. I want to say thank you to the following people. Okay, this is absolutely stunning. Thank you to Sean Fertel, Catherine Nailsnick, Nico Poulos, Andrew Kravetsky, Jason Sickmeyer, Neil Bradley, Stuart Crawford, Jake Olson, Nicholas Scott, Samuel Crowder, Shamari Vasquez, Andy Van, John Deering, Jonathan McNally, Cody Cly, Elizabeth Hook, Alexander Riojas, Julie Farrer, and Vanessa Gaylor. They all just signed up on my website. That is 17, putting us at 904. Whoops, where are we? There we go. Folks, we may get to 1,000 tonight. Thanks to Mo Mokins and Jetstorm for the Twitch subs. That's 906. Welcome to Zach Collis, Paul Howitt, and Michael Brown. New members on my website, putting us at 909. I'm doing the best I can with names. I'm sure at some point I'm going to have a moment like Trump.
Swami Vive Kamunand. Suchin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
But not yet. Not yet. Jack Henry, newest member. That's a name I can pronounce with confidence. David Thomas. Welcome, David. I know I'm getting that one right. It's really great to have people here. It's daily streams. We're going to be here. We'll be here tomorrow. We're going to be here late tomorrow. I hope that you will join me. B. Darn Dandy says, hey, from Germany, our media is increasingly covering your elections, and we're horrified. The world is watching, and it's not looking good. I agree with you. I agree with you. David, can't lie. I'm worried about where our country is heading and where it'll be 10 to 20 years from now. The election is uber important. I agree, Kyle. Listen, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Thanks to Newbie Gaming, T-Lang, and Pack Fans, as well as Snora for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Welcome to Stephen Grapp, Alex Rader, and Alex Cobb, who just signed up on my website. We're seeing an acceleration here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we may be doing this tonight. Kellen Lutz and Kendra Mock, welcome. New members number 919 and 920. I am stunned by what is happening. Becky says, I'm sat here at stupid o'clock in the UK, watching this madness unfold with my heart in mouth. I am trans and my partner lives in the USA. I am honestly fearing for the future more and more. I'm with you, Becky. I am with you. And if Trump announces tonight, expect this crowd to go absolutely bonkers. Bonkers. Bonkers if Trump announces. Tabitha McCord, Sean Syrif, and CJ Coker just signed up on my website, putting us at 923. Mr. Peppa, Mark English, and Fun with Knives just signed up via Twitch Prime. Danger Shots just gifted 10. Folks, are we going to do it before Trump even speaks? James Hogue and Matthew Harris just signed up on my website, putting us at 938. Should I do a care package for number 1,000 if we make it? David, what are the chances the polling is way off? There's a good chance the polls are off by 2 or 3 points. That could be all the difference. So vote, vote, vote. Vote, vote, vote. The polls very well could be off by 2 or 3 points. Tonight, Donald J. Trump will very, very possibly, likely, certainly, almost assuredly announce his intention to stop teaching transgender. Exactly right. Wait, do I even have my teach transgender thing?
Further scream that his days are numbered.
Oh, no, I don't have it. Okay, I've got to get that going. Do you feel this MAGA-type movement was always coming in time and Trump accelerated it, or did he create most of it? No, he didn't create it. He coalesced it, and he made a lot of those people feel really confident about publicly talking about their views. Kemek Music is the newest Twitch Prime subscriber, putting us at 939. Remember when the right said the left was glorifying and turning Obama into a celebrity? Now look at them. I know. David, do you think if Trump announces tonight it will tank the red wave? I hope so. I'm still not convinced there is a red wave coming. Let's wait and see. Sir, thoughts on Elon Musk publicly endorsing Republicans on Twitter? Have you considered migrating to an alternative platform like Mastodon? I don't even know what that is. Decentralized social media. Never heard of it. You know, part of it is you've got to be where the people are. If the people leave Twitter, by the way, then that'll be interesting. I think Musk is out of his mind. I think he's kind of one of these reactionary libertarians, kind of like a Toolsy. And I don't find it very impressive. Thanks to Tiny Sir Jen for gifting a Twitch Prime subscription. Shaq Nasty Dingus, wow, also the newest Twitch Prime subscriber. Welcome to Angie Yohi, Michelle Bullard, Jonas Stoltz, Martin Fillion, Britt Alexander, and Stephen Slema. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Folks, this is going to be like a photo finish. I think we may be able to get to 1,000 before Trump even says a word here. Ross Jacks has just signed up via Twitch. Listen, folks, subscriber 1,000 gets a special care package from my website. 4 free items. You can get the hat, the mug, the shirt, and the hoodie. Okay? Number 1,000 gets this, and the bumper sticker. Yes. 5 items. 5 items. Number 1,000. I think we're going to be able to do it. Welcome to Willa Shong, as well as Sarah Coleman. That puts us at 950. Super chats are dumping in. Oh, those I did. David, sir, I love the message and want to buy a membership, but I don't trust you people with my information. Can I come in person to get a membership? No. That's completely insane. Welcome to Johnny Minogue, as well as Aaron Asbill and Stephen Slema with another gift, putting us at 953 as Trump gets ready to exit. Bernie on a boat and Miss Budokan putting us at 955. Elements of airplane bathrooms. How many flushes does Trump need for that golden airplane toilet? I can't imagine Trump's getting good suction on his 757. I don't believe it for a second. Lonk Souls, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Started watching the show since 2020. Love everything you talk about on the show. You, sir, are no fake news. Thank you, Tad. I don't have a car, says Sean. Well, thank you for that information. I appreciate that. Good to know. Welcome to Kenneth Plummer, Jeremiah Hagler, Andrew Culp, Martin Fillion, and Shelley Martin, gifting and subscribing at joinpacman.com. That is 4, putting us at 961. Welcome to Kelly Odell, number 962. We will be live tomorrow, folks. Listen, if it's bad tomorrow, we can welcome that begrudgingly, but together. And we might be pleasantly surprised tomorrow night. I'm leaving it at that. We might be pleasantly surprised. Crystal says, can we drop president from Trump's introductions? He doesn't deserve the respect or dignity that accompanies the title. What about traitor Trump? I've been calling him failed former president. Seven Dust says, super chat. Thank you. Thanks to Love to Draw. Appreciate that. Fun, Art Vandalay, Hyatt, and Pack Fans. Thank you via Twitch. Puts us at 966. Thanks to Peyton Manning for gifting a subscription, as well as Wendell Sealed, putting us at 968. Kyle Noble says, what are your thoughts on banjos? I'm generally in favor, but have no interest whatsoever in playing one myself. No interest at all. Welcome to Juliana Newbold and Brandon Spencer. Let's go, Brandon. Let's do it. Putting us at 970. Folks, Trump is moments away. First Aid is very strongly supporting the stream, as is Extend the Feelers via Twitch as the Trump propaganda video plays. He may be announcing tonight. That is the latest reporting that we are getting. A horrifying situation. The election tomorrow. Yes, Republicans favored. I do believe the polling may be a little overly favorable towards Republicans, and I think anything could happen. You had damn well better vote tomorrow. Thanks to Nuclei Pasta for the Twitch Prime subscription, putting us at 973. Welcome to Simon Reed, Kelly Moran, and Michael Kennison, who just signed up on my perfect website, putting us at 976. GWJ says, I live in PA. I can't wait to powerfully vote for Fetterman and Shapiro tomorrow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rusty Tamp is new member number 977 via Twitch. Andrew Culp, Justin Janot, and Stephen Brown have just signed up and gifted subscriptions on the website. By the way, folks, we have so many gifts to give away. If you want a free membership, I would put your name in now at davidpakman.com/free membership. Why not? We've got probably 2 hours of Trump ranting coming up. So everybody, I hope you've got snacks, water, everything you need. David, sir, what's your position on hybrids? Do you think they're just as good as electric vehicles? No. In fact, I do not recommend hybrids at all. One of the issues with hybrids is the pricing differential from the hybrid to the fully gas-powered is typically not worth the gas savings unless you drive some crazy amount. I am ready to say I would not buy a hybrid vehicle. I would either buy the most efficient standard internal combustion engine vehicle I can find or get a full electric vehicle. I would not get a hybrid. Call me crazy. Call me crazy, but I don't do it. I would not do it. Thanks to Pack Fans and Andrew X for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 982. Thank you to Grant Bullert, Stephen Heap, Conrad Fitzsimmons, Marilu Resnick, Brandon Spencer, Mario Jimenez, and Harold Purdy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ladies and gentlemen, can we do it? We are at 989. Welcome to Roland Trofin, number 990. Folks, this is it. Number 1000 gets anything they want from my online store. Merging Magpies is 991. When your grandkids say to you, where were you when they hit 1,000, you will know exactly where you were. Look at these super chats. Lurking for months. Thanks for what you do. Thanks, Ruth Ann. Can we have a poll of who voted already? Yes. Please post in the chat if you have already voted. That is interesting. All right. I already addressed banjos. Already did that. All right, folks, here we go. Leslie Arnold, Andrew Culp, Mario Jimenez gifts 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2, 3. Hold on a second. I got to make sure we get the right person for 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't want to miss who is 1,000. Okay, that's 998. Let's do this very carefully now. Okay. Stephen Slama just gifted another one. That's 999. And new member number 1,000 is Chris Lintner. Chris Lintner, you are new member number 1,000. Folks, we're going for 1,500. Email info@davidpakman.com. There's Eric Trump looking visibly confused. Visibly confused. I'm guessing they're all here because Trump's announcing. I don't think they would all be here if Trump was not announcing. I think it is clear Trump is announcing tonight, and he is going to unleash hell upon this planet, the likes of which we have never seen before. I believe Trump is announcing. Memberships continue to dump in. Okay? Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Spinach Monster, 5 Anonymous, Relic, Canimation, Lucifer, Tiger Girl, that's 9. Girl Jessie gifting 10 more. Switcher Sweet and Anonymous Gifter, that's 11. We're at 1,011, and the website is about to crash from what's happening. Martin Fillion, Nico Poulos, Mario Jimenez, Brandon Spencer, Caleb Sickles, Simon Reed, Steve Slama, Mario is back in, Pacman is my daddy, Stephen Slama, Andrew Culp, Mario Jimenez, Thomas Neal, and David Henkel. Folks, the website's about to crash under the load of memberships. It's not, we're about to go down. Okay, that's 16, putting us at 1,020. Nobody has ever seen numbers like this. Super chats continue to come in. This is way too over the top for a regular rally. My bet is he's announcing. I believe Trump is announcing. His entire family is here, and they're right up by the stage. I believe he is announcing, and I believe this is going to unleash hell on earth. Mrs. Fields and AJ Scorpia are adding their names via Twitch. I hope everyone is following and has subscribed, because we've got to be here for the election results tomorrow, folks. Okay? If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Oh my goodness, look at these numbers. Everything is exploding. Look at this. Oh my God, it's like a slot machine out here. We are going to be here tomorrow night. We will be here on Twitch. We will be here on Facebook. We will be here on YouTube. The most important midterm election results I've ever covered, and potentially the most consequential. Okay? We're going to be here. Some people saying they still don't think Trump is going to be announcing tonight. I mean, his whole family's here, which is odd. I see Trump. I see the subscriptions continuing to dump in. We will keep the counter up to date. This may be the start of 2024. There's too many subscriptions. Mick can't take it anymore. I know. Did they confirm he's wanting to run with the Trump 2024 mug ads and new slogan? I don't know. I didn't see it. Welcome to Chef Ramsay, as well as Mother Rue, Tiku, Blueberry Babe, Leslie from Colorado Springs as well. Everybody's here today. Are they playing the song? They are. Let's see if Newsmax covers it. Thanks to Brandon Spencer, as well as Tracy Leonard and Cole Miller. Folks, I am flattered by your support. I hope every single one of you is going to be here tomorrow night, because it's going to be a big, big deal. I'm not sure Trump is announcing tonight, but it's been teased. Trump teased it. His family is at the rally. So there are certainly signs of something happening. Richard says Trump's like a baby who had his rattle taken away, then got Freaky Friday'd into his dad's body and decides to take revenge. I'm scared, both as a woman and disabled person. I don't want him back in the White House. You and me both, Corinne. Thanks for all you do, David. It might be a miserable week. Let's pray for sanity. Yeah. Here we go, folks.
This is a big crowd. This is a beautiful, big crowd. Hello, Ohio. Hello, hello, hello. Amazing. I do wish the fake news would show this crowd. This is massive. This is incredible. This is incredible. I'm thrilled to be back in this wonderful state with the thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. You built this country. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, the great people of Ohio are going to send JD Vance to the United States Senate. And you're going to re-elect Mike DeWine as your state's governor,
JP, right?
and
JD
John
Mandel.
Huston as lieutenant governor. You're going to vote for an incredible slate of true American first Republicans up and down the ballot, and we are going to end crazy Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all. Right? That's right. Hello. Under Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, and the radical Democrat Congress, the great state of Ohio is under siege. You know that better than anyone.
I didn't know.
Biden and the far-left lunatics are waging war on Ohio energy workers. Just yesterday, Biden bragged that on his watch there is, quote, no more drilling. You know, that's not what he said. JD.
Sounds good.
He said it yesterday. Didn't quite know what he was saying. Then they tried to correct it today. They said, you didn't understand the meaning
It's too
of what
early
he
for
said.
that. Sorry, guys.
No, he said no more drilling, right? But the energy costs in this country are skyrocketing like nobody's ever seen before. And so are the food costs, and so is every other cost. And you're paying a big price, like $1,000 a month in Ohio. They're
Folks, at his Saturday rally, he said inflation is costing people $700 extra a month. At yesterday's rally, he said it's costing people $800 a month. And tonight, he said it's $1,000. He's making this shit up.
every single month. The southern border, we had a southern border, was the best ever.
That was a glitch.
It's wide open now. Millions and millions of illegal aliens are pouring into our country. Violent crime is out of control, and the far left is indoctrinating our children with twisted race and gender insanity in our schools like we've never even thought of before. This was never even thought of before. This country has gone crazy. There's only one choice to end this madness. If you support the decline and fall of America, then you must, absolutely must, vote for the radical left crazy people, the radical left Democrats. And if you want to stop the destruction of our country and save the American dream, then tomorrow you must vote Republican in a giant red wave that we've all been hearing about.
Dear God.
There is no more urgent task for the future of our country than to stop the invasion on our southern border. 2 years ago, we had the strongest southern border in American history. There was nothing even close. Now it's the worst border, perhaps, in the history of the world anywhere.
You know, I can find you some borders that are pretty much non-functional. I don't think that that's true. Not at all.
2 years. Sticks and stones, if they had to use them, give me a stick and give me a stone, they wouldn't allow this to happen to a country, even at a third world level. And I hate to tell you, our country is becoming third world. That's what's happening to us. Biden, Pelosi, and the radical Democrats spend all their time obsessing over the borders of distant foreign nations. Americans deserve a Congress and a president who will protect the borders of our nation, don't you think? And very simply, it's called America First. We came up with that little name, and, you know, they say on the other side, we will not let America First dominate. They should really say, we don't like Trump's policies, but you don't say, we don't want America first. And then they go after MAGA all the time. We will stop MAGA. Well, MAGA means make America great again. You know, they're pretty tough to stop, JD. And good luck. Hey, JD, you have some very good polls I saw today. What the hell am I doing here? Good night, everybody.
That'd be great.
We can make this one real short, JD. Would you like to just do it for a quickie?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go through the whole deal?
No.
Uncle Sam, what do you want to do, Uncle Sam? We love Uncle Sam. You know, we have incredible women here from North Carolina, and they were with us yesterday in Miami. Did you see where we had a tropical storm? And it came down. I've never had rain like that. I've never seen anything like it. Everything was so beautiful. And we did it for Marco Rubio, and he is doing really well, I will tell you. He's doing really well. Our people are doing well, JD. But all of a sudden, the song went off. You know the song. People love it. They love that last bit. Do you like it? I like it.
It's terrible.
I like doing it. To me, it's beautiful. It's more beautiful. Would anybody like to see me stop doing that? We'll do a poll, free poll.
Yeah, please don't do it anymore.
So who wants to do it?
Oh, God.
And who doesn't want to do it? So you know what I just did? I saved $1 million to a pollster. You know? No, they interviewed 203 people, and they tell you, that's a much better poll. I agree.
Yeah.
No, it was beautiful. But the music went on, and it was like somebody took a large pail of water and dropped it on my head. And we said, I had a problem because the teleprompters were useless, okay?
Right.
They were absolutely useless.
Teleprompters he doesn't use, like loser Obama, weren't functioning perfectly.
And I had a choice. And they said, please come off the stage. You know, security, please come off the stage. Well, there was no lightning, so we didn't have danger. But I've never seen anything. This was like the worst shower you've ever taken. It was just pouring. And, you know, in Florida, it goes like that for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then it stops. The sun comes out. It's very quick, but it's brutal. So I'm doing it. And I had to throw away the teleprompters, and we did so well. And I was saying, what do you think would have happened to Biden if that happened? I don't think it would have been too good. I don't think it would have been too good.
Man, he is obsessed with Biden, huh?
It was actually, people have said today, it was like a religious experience. The people, the music comes on, and then boom, we just got, it was like unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
You know, it's funny. He said that when the sun came out on his inauguration day, it was a sign from God. Yesterday, when it started raining, it was a religious experience. I guess then it all kind of zeroes out because no matter what, it was God.
Planned obsolescence. They can make a windshield wiper that would last 100 years, but they make them only so they last exactly 1 year, and then you have to buy a new one, which means they're smart, okay? Let's let them keep doing. But you ever do that where you're driving and you can't see? Well, that's what I had with my one little remaining teleprompter. So we had to go, and we had a great evening.
Yeah.
One of the greatest rallies we've ever had. And it was caused by God sending us the heaviest rain I've ever seen. It was unbelievable.
Must be a sign.
And nobody left. The media didn't even leave. The fake news. Oh, look at all of them. Wow.
Remember, reports are half the crowd left during Trump's last two speeches before they were over.
It's a lot of fake news back there. I'm looking at Eric and Don Trump. They're so lucky I allowed them to get into politics, right? They've been treated so kindly. These are the two most subpoenaed human beings in history. Al Capone. You ever hear of Alphonse Capone, the legendary? Jesse James, Billy the Kid. These two have had more...
I've had more investigations than Jesse James,
we got another
Billy the
subpoena
Kid.
from Congress, you know. Maxine Waters sent us, you know, because she's a very honest person, Dad. She's a very honest person, Dad. No, I think they set a record. Most subpoenaed human beings in the history of the world. But you know, the good news has been going on for 6 years. We're very honest. A friend of mine said, you have to be the most honest person ever.
There you go.
Years and years, millions and millions of pages of documents. JD, they checked every deal. They checked deals that I forgot about. And I said, I don't remember. I get a call from a guy, did a deal 22 years ago. Hi, Mr. President. I just wanted to let you know we were just visited by the law enforcement authorities. On what? That deal we did about 23 years ago. Oh, how's it doing? Well, we sold it about 5 times already. People I haven't heard from in years, they get visited by, these are sick people. These are sick people. But this is what we're going through. JD, you got to get it stopped because that's the beginning of communism. It's the beginning of communism.
Wow. The police, which they claim to support doing their jobs, is now communism.
We are not. We've skipped over that. That's gone. Socialism is gone for about a year already, I think. We're into the world of communism right now. Last year, an average of 14 Ohio lives were lost to drug overdoses every single day, yet Biden and the radical Democrats do nothing to stop the lethal poisons pouring across our borders. And we had it almost stopped. We had the safest borders ever. That included human trafficking, and it included drugs, but it included people. We sent thousands and thousands of MS-13 back. I'll tell you what, ICE and Border Patrol and law enforcement, but they do a great job. They do a great job. Brandon Judd, Tom Homan, these are incredible people. Since the end of the Trump administration, the drug cartels have seen their revenue skyrocket by an astounding, listen to this one, you business people. You think you're good at business? You're nothing compared to these people. 2,500%. Would you say that's good? If that were stock on the New York Stock Exchange, it would be the hottest stock of the decade. The choice this election is simple. Democrats will defund the police. Republicans will defund the cartels. And
no
that's what
Democrats
happens.
are running on defund. None.
Under my
Zero.
leadership, we waged war on the cartels. We ended catch and release. We stopped asylum fraud. And we threw illegal alien gang members out of our country by the thousands. And we got their countries, Guatemala, Honduras, we got their countries to take them back, JD. You know, they wouldn't take them back. Under the Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, under the Obama administration, they refused. They refused to take them back. They said, no, we're not taking them back. So I said, I tell this, it's unbelievable. Primarily 3, but there are others too. And he said, how much do we pay them every year? What do we give them? $750 million, sir. That's a lot. I said, we're not going to pay them anymore. Stop payment. It's like a stop payment of a check. We stop payment and let them know because they're not taking back the people that they sent over. You know, they send those people over. These are very smart. They don't just happen to come.
Right.
When you have these guys come over that look rougher than any prize fighter you've ever seen. These are rough people, tough people. They empty their prisons into our country. I said, send them back, send them back. And if they don't take them, you know, they put airplanes on their runways. So when our plane goes back loaded with these people that have to be out of our country, they said, no, you can't land. You can't land. You have no runway. You can't land. So I said, good. Stop the $750 million. The following day, I got a call from the head of Honduras. Nice man, by the way. Very smart, very streetwise. I'll tell you what. JD, these are streetwise people. These are smart people. They're at the top of their game, unlike others that we know about. These leaders are all at the...
This is the prototypical Trump rant that's going nowhere. Nobody in the crowd knows what's going on, and almost certainly none of what Trump is saying actually happened. Certainly not the way he's telling it.
Guatemala, get a call from El Salvador. They are principal 3. Now it's everybody. It's 129 different countries. We had last week 129 different countries. But they said... Sir, we don't understand. And they called separately, almost like 8 o'clock in the morning. But I work early. So I said, yes, Mr. President, what is it? Sir, I understand you stop payment on the money that you send us on a weekly basis. I said, how much is it? Well, we get $250 million. I said, yeah, we're stopping payment. You're never getting it again because you don't take these people back. You sent them here in the caravans. You sent them. And now we're going to send them back. And he said, oh, I didn't know there was a misunderstanding. They've only been trying for 10 years to get him back, but nobody did this one. And he said, you know, honestly, sir, we would be honored to take them back. We love MS-13 gang members very, very much. We think they're wonderful people. We would love to have them back in our country. And I got the other 2 calls within about 20 minutes. All 3 calls within a half hour I got. And within 45 minutes, they agreed, and we were sending them back by the thousands and thousands and thousands. And then this administration.
So Trump keeps saying thousands and thousands of MS-13. It appears as though total ever 1,300 MS-13 members were deported. Okay? Thousands and thousands and thousands in just this one incident. Seems like it's 1,300 ever.
They're going to be paying a price. We've got to get them out. We got to get them out. We built hundreds of miles of border walls, and despite 2.5 years of Democrat lawsuits to stop it, and we won them all, many, many lawsuits, we completely finished our original wall plan. We had a border wall plan that was beautiful.
Remember, the promise was entire 1,900 miles of wall done in one term, paid for by Mexico. He did not accomplish that.
Completed the job in 3 weeks, but the radical left Democrats didn't want to do that job. That's when I got wise to the fact. I said, you know, I really think they want open borders to ravage our country, and every day these Democrat policies are getting innocent Americans killed, and killed in large numbers. Earlier this year, an MS-13 gang member was sentenced for helping lure a teenage boy to a playground, beating him in the head with a baseball bat, and brutally stabbing him 32 times. This was an animal. Nancy Pelosi said, please don't call them animals, they're human beings. I said, no, they're animals. Of course, I think she's an animal too, you want to know the truth.
Oh, God. Disgusting.
They'll say, oh, what a horrible thing he said about Nancy. She impeached me twice for nothing. Nothing. They'll say, oh.
This is like saying a police officer's bad because they arrested me for a crime I committed. Terrible.
Let me tell you, what she does to this country and what she did to and the turmoil, and it was all, I used the word yesterday, I shouldn't, my great first lady got very upset. I said, I will never use the word
my
bullshit
first lady.
again. But what she did to us in this country, and yet we got more done as an administration and a president than just about any president in the history of our country in 4 years. In Boston last year, an illegal alien visa overstayer tried to rob a father of 12 children before stabbing him 8 times.
Now, of course, what's interesting about visa overstayer is they just want to build a wall. They never talk about visa overstayers. Their entire plan is a wall to target what is actually the minority of those here illegally. But now all of a sudden, dude, you did nothing about the visa overstayers.
Take immediate action to force the restoration of all of our policies. All they had to do is leave it alone. We had the greatest border in history. I'll tell you 100 times, leave it alone. We had it so good, and it was getting better and stronger and stronger. The drugs were down the lowest they were in 32 years, and now the drugs are 7 times to 10 times higher than when we had it only 2 years ago. Think of it. The drugs are pouring in. I told President Xi of China, no more fentanyl. We're not going to do any business. We're not going to let you do any business. And you know, it was getting stopped. Now it's gone crazy. What they've done is unbelievable. It's been unleashed.
Not this
I
story.
want to do one thing because I think it's very important to do it. This is visit close to 100 of a group of very beautiful, I'm not allowed to say that, so I won't. They're very beautiful nevertheless. Young women from North Carolina. This is, I think, their 100th rally. And they were so good. And actually, that's peanuts compared to Uncle Sam here and some of these people. They follow me no matter where the hell I go. I see Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, members. There he is. Uncle Sam is driving me crazy. Where's Uncle Sam? You're the greatest. Look at Uncle Sam. There he is. Look at this guy. And that's not a stage deal. This guy's for real. But, you know, he loves... Uncle Sam, do you love our country? You better believe it. No, he loves it better 2 years ago, but you're going to love it a lot very soon.
So he interrupted himself in praising the North Carolina women?
This guy. He's actually better looking than the real Uncle Sam, if you want to. But these ladies are obviously very well-to-do. They're so magnificently attired, and they follow the tour. They go at the tour. Sometimes
This is the
I feel
real
like a
sad
rock
song,
star,
Pat.
JD, because we have a tour. We have a lot of people. See the front row Joes? These front row Joes, these are serious people. And you know what? They're all successful. They make money. They've got cars and trucks that cost a fortune. You got to see the paint job. I call them sometimes if I want something painted. I said, who the hell painted the beautiful flag on your truck? The talent they have
Trump
is
calls
incredible, but we love our front row Joes. But you know, and they've been here for 3-4 days waiting. I'm surprised you don't get better treatment than that. Like you can't work a deal with one of our guys to get in without all the waiting. But you actually like the waiting, right? It's like a tailgate party. A lot of people, they're here. They started here 4 days ago. We've had some place.
That's super cult lead. That's Jim Jones-esque. You like waiting for me outside in the cold for 9 days, right? It builds character.
Look at this. They're like central casting. I mean, how beautiful. I'm not allowed to use that term anymore. It used to be you could say they're beautiful women. Today, if you use that term, they say, what a horrible thing that he is. But you are beautiful women. Look at them.
Rambling.
We're close to 100, right? Close to 100. Unbelievable. They travel from North Carolina. They're all married. I don't know what their husbands must be thinking. How are you doing with the husbands? Are you okay? The marriages are intact? No, but sometimes the husbands come too. I think as little as possible. I don't think they want the husbands to come. But you're great. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. You're really great. Great people. Great, great people. Instead of doubling the number of IRS agents, we should double the number of ICE and Border Patrol agents. And we should pass legislation to deport every illegal alien that Joe Biden has unlawfully allowed to break into our country. We're going to make America great again, and we are going to do it. First, we have to make America safe again. It's not safe. We don't have a safe country anymore. You know, in Afghanistan, I was very tough on Afghanistan.
Remember that generally speaking, the violent crime rate in the U.S. continues to decline.
What do you call the Taliban? Because that's where, remember Jesse James, why do you rob the banks? He said, that's where the money is. Why do you call the leader the Taliban? That's where the problem was, right? And Abdul, and I got along with them very nicely. They hate when I say that. I got along with Kim Jong-un very nicely. Isn't that good that I got along with him, right? We didn't end up in a nuclear war. You would have ended up in a nuclear war at that time, believe me.
Probably
not. You could end up in another one, a different one, with him and also Russia and also others, because our people don't know what the hell they're doing, okay? But we have so many things happening that were, call them unforced errors. Inflation should have never happened. That was caused by energy.
Trump
now
should have never
everything's
happened.
inflated. In fact, energy is less than many other things. Forget about buying a turkey for Thanksgiving. Has anybody bought your turkey yet for Thanksgiving? Because if you haven't, don't even waste your time. Number one, you probably won't get it. And if you do, you're going to pay approximately 3 times more.
I was just at 2 grocery stores. They were filled with turkeys. Also, I don't know why you would buy it yet, but...
By bloodthirsty gangs and violent criminals. Much of the crime wave is caused by drug dealers who, during the course of their lives, will kill an average of 500 Americans.
That is untrue. There is no evidence, there is no mathematical case to justify that claim. He's made it dozens of times. His followers repeat it. It's not true.
Traffickers, which will, upon its passage, reduce drug distribution and reduce crime in our country by a minimum of 75% on the first day that this policy is instituted.
In one day, that's 75% of the crime will go down.
Lose an election again if you did. And I don't like to bring this up. It's a tough subject. I don't know if the country is ready for it. I can tell you with President Xi in China, I see him. I say, President, you have 1.5 billion people. Do you have a drug problem? No drug problem.
Quick trial.
I say, how do you do that? I really sort of knew, but I didn't want to. How do you do that? And he probably thought I was somewhat naive. He goes, we have quick trial. I said, what's a quick trial? I think I knew what that was, too. That means they catch a drug dealer. They give them a quick trial. Not a trial that takes 12 years and 12 years of appeals, 25 years later, and everyone's dead by the time they get to the end of the... No, this is a trial that takes approximately 2 hours.
Right.
And if they're guilty, they are executed. And the bullet, and you know the bullet, I don't know if anybody wants to know this, it gets a little bit too graphic, but the bullet is sent to their families. You know that, right? You know that? It's actually sent to their families. It's pretty tough stuff. There's no...
Trump just loves dictatorial stuff. He's just so impressed by it. He wants to be a dictatorship.
Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Of course we don't, because we don't play games. You look at Singapore, you look at other countries, wherever they have the death penalty, zero drug problems. Drugs are causing us tremendous problem. And unless you do this, I'm tired of blue ribbon committees. You know, I set up these wonderful blue ribbon committees composed of diplomats, people like nice people, society ladies from New York. They care, but you're dealing with very, very vicious, very smart, very tough people making a fortune. You have to get tough, and if you don't do the death penalty, you'll never stop crime in this country, and you'll never... As great as our police are, and they're great, we have to give them back their authority, but you can stop 75, 80% of the crime in this country with the proper passage of a meaningful bill. And it's got to be done. I don't like being the one to say it.
Simple,
other people,
huh?
Everyone agrees.
You know, it's interesting because Trump was president for 4 years, and it turned out none of these things actually worked the way he claimed, and he did none of them. He accomplished nothing.
And there are quite a few. They have no problem whatsoever. With a Republican Congress, we must also pass critical funding to hire thousands more police officers nationwide and put violent criminals behind bars and keep them behind bars. We need to let our police do their job. We love our police, and look, they know what to do, but they're prevented from doing their job.
Unless it's the FBI investigating him, in which case the police are clueless, of course.
Look, you got to get these people out of office. They got to leave because they're killing our country. Defund the police. How about defund the police? There is a city I won't mention because I know some very good people.
No national Democrats are running on defund the police. It's just not happening.
Robbed, and you call the police, and they'll show up. They'll do the best they can to show up 8 hours later. You know that story. If you're being accosted, Uncle Sam, if you're being accosted in a certain number of cities, it takes hours and hours for the police to come. And then they want to defund the police, and it has to be just the opposite. So vote Republicans up and down the line. We all agree we got to stop crime. The Democrats are a catastrophe. Every single Democrat city is a disaster without exception. There is no exception. And the Republican cities and the Republican states run very well. And that's not because I'm out here to promote a product. I'm not. But that's the way it is. You look at the list.
Kind of
25 out of 25, the most dangerous places on earth. Again, more dangerous than Afghanistan. When I told Abdul, don't kill our soldiers, they were killing a lot of soldiers. They're snipers, losing a lot under the Obama administration. It was a disaster. And I said, don't do it, Abdul. Don't do it. But why? But why? He said, but why? Do you send me a picture of my house? I said, because I think you have a beautiful house, Abdul. Don't kill any more of our soldiers.
Story.
And from that call on, 18 months. And you know what? Biden actually used it in one of his speeches, and they really they were screaming at him to don't say that. They didn't want, because it's good. 18 months, not one
that never happened.
Soldier was killed for 18 months until the disaster at the airport, which should have never taken place, because you don't move the soldiers out first. You move the soldiers out last. One of the worst and most sinister aspects of the Biden administration is their complete and total corruption of our justice system and the rule of law. Before our very eyes, Biden and his left-wing handlers are turning America into a police state. That's what we're turning into, a police state.
They want to get rid of all the police, and they're turning America into a police state with the defunded police that they're getting rid of, right? I mean, makes perfect sense.
Their political opponents, silencing dissent, and using the full force of government, law enforcement, and the media to try and defeat our movement. And by the way, Catherine Engelbrecht of Truth to Vote was let out of prison today. She was let out of prison.
It's called True the Vote. He doesn't even know the name of the organization. It's just nonsense.
She was studying the tapes, thousands of hours, along with incredible patriots, many men and women. They had a team, and they did, 2,000 mules, and amazing job. I don't know if you know that a week ago they put her in prison. And you know why? They made up some excuse about not revealing a source. Well, how about revealing the source that leaked the information from the Supreme Court? Why don't you do something with that person?
Uh-huh.
They put her in prison because she wouldn't reveal. But they didn't put the reporter in prison. Who knows who that person is, right? You could find that very easily.
Wow.
The Supreme Court could find that very easily.
Jail
I'm giving
everyone.
that information to the Supreme Court because I think the leaking from the Supreme Court, first time it's ever happened, is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you get the information very easily.
See, other right-wingers have stopped talking about that because it's pretty clear at this point that it was a right-winger who leaked it.
It's bye-bye. The reporter goes to jail. And when the reporter learns that he's going to be married in 2 days to a certain prisoner that's extremely strong, tough, and mean, he will say,
So that's Trump joking about prison rape. Really, really a good subject, huh?
Speaker, get me the hell out of here. Every freedom-loving American needs to understand the time to stand up to this growing left-wing tyranny is right now. If you want to save your rights and liberties, you have to start by dealing a humiliating rebuke to the radical left in this election. This is so important, this election. JD Vance. You know, his opponent is making me like I'm his best friend. I don't know this guy, but he's far left. He voted with Obama. I think he voted with Obama and with Biden.
He's really been, he's said Obama now multiple rallies in a row. He really seems to be struggling with that one.
Obama of Trump. I think Trump is wonderful. I don't know the gentleman. I can tell you this. He's not for us. He's a radical left lunatic who's now trying to jump on the bandwagon because that stuff failed so badly. But they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to go on with it. Tomorrow you have to crush the communists because that's what they are at the ballot.
Should be easy. There aren't any.
8 years, the witch hunts, hoaxes, and abuses have been coming fast and furious. They are abuses and they are hoaxes. First, we learned they spied on my campaign. Can you imagine?
Didn't happen.
Can you imagine if we spied on Barack Hussein Obama's campaign?
Literally did not happen.
It would be the death penalty. You get the death penalty, Uncle Sam, death penalty, right? They would reinstitute the death penalty. Trump spied on Obama. Can you imagine?
He's extra unhinged tonight, truly.
It happens. And then you have a guy like Bill Barr. He's so petrified of being impeached, he doesn't want to do it. Oh, sure, they're going to impeach me. I said, I got impeached twice. My poll numbers went up. What's the big deal? It's true. Sure. I told him. But he didn't want to be impeached. He didn't want. No, sir, the election was beautiful. You know, 2 months before, he was talking about how corrupt everything was with the election. The U.S. attorney from Pennsylvania, he wrote a letter saying Barr would not let him investigate Philadelphia, which was so corrupt, so corrupt. And the Philadelphia court, just ruled that it was corrupt. And they said it was all those ballots, hundreds of thousands of ballots were invalidated.
The court ruled about primary ballots this year without a date on them. It had nothing to do with 2020 and Trump's election. Do you think he knows that and he knows his followers are too stupid to know the difference? Or do you think even Trump doesn't know what that court said?
Lied to Congress, they lied to the FISA court and created a fake dossier that wasn't good for me to go home that night and explain to the First Lady. That was not a good dossier. JD, you never want to have to do that. Never. That was not good. But she actually believed me. She said, I know that's not your thing. You know
I don't know if you noticed, people are already starting to leave the rally. They wait all day to hear Trump. And then I don't know if it's so boring or it just gets too late. There was a report that in Latrobe, half the audience left while Trump was still speaking. When they zoom out, you already see people leaving.
Paid for by crooked Hillary and the Democrats. And yet, after all of their lies and all of their corruption, these same people keep coming after me. They keep coming after Trump. Remember, first it was Russia, Russia, Russia. Then it was Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Remember that, the perfect phone call? And the Mueller witch hunt, where the conclusion was no collusion. Think of that. The conclusion was no collusion. Now, do you think Biden can say that? I don't think. Could you imagine if they gave him that? Even if it was on a teleprompter, I give him a 2% chance of getting that one done. And then they hit me with impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, the censorship of the Biden family corruption story as Russian disinformation by the FBI. Remember when they went up to Facebook?
The crowd has no idea.
And they said that his laptop from hell, they call it the laptop from hell. Somebody named Miranda Devine wrote a great book, and she gives me credit for that. She said, I saw that name, you used that name. I'm so happy with my names. I love my names. But she said laptop from hell was so good that she used it on a book, and it was an incredible book, actually. And she's a fantastic reporter. But it was the laptop from hell, and they said it was Russia disinformation. No, it wasn't. It was from Hunter. Can you imagine the father? I'm not sure he understood it, but assuming he understood what was on that laptop. No, could you imagine? Don, if that ever happens to you, if you ever have a laptop like that, I swear, I'll never speak to you again. Okay?
That's going to elicit nervous laughter from Don Jr., who already is sort of like, does my dad even really like me?
Now, could you imagine, assuming he knew what the hell he was doing, could you imagine when he sees, oh my, have you seen what's in that the fake news, all those beautiful people, look at them, they're waiting for something. Look at them. That's a lot. Wow. But could you imagine, though, if we had an honest press where they would actually report what's on that laptop? That laptop is a disaster. And he left it with the repairman, and the repairman is waiting, trying to figure it. Then he opens it up one day, and he says, oh, my God, this is unbelievable. And it was just minor stuff is reported, but that thing is a disaster, and they get left alone. But everyone knew that the Russia disinformation wasn't true, and it made a 17-point difference in the polls, but we didn't need it. We had plenty of votes. We had more votes than any president, any sitting president ever. More votes by far.
But sadly, 8 million fewer than Biden.
All we needed was honest vote counters, Uncle Sam. You know, the vote counter is more important than the candidate. I hate to tell you. I could take a great candidate like JD Vance, and I could take a great vote counter,
Very glitchy.
Some Democrat crook, radical left crazy man, and I'll bet on that guy every time. I hate to say it. You got to be careful. We have to strengthen up, and we have to go to all paper ballots very quickly.
Right.
Same day voting, all paper ballots.
Trump votes by mail.
Very simple. You know, in Pennsylvania, they just announced, here we go again, that it could take 3 or 4 days to come up with a vote. So we're going to be watching this election for maybe weeks. And the purpose of these machines was, one of them was...
3 or 4 days is not exactly weeks.
France, 36 million people. It was all done by 10 o'clock in the evening, and nobody was complaining. I mean, you had one person that was sad and one person that was happy, but there were no complaints. And you had all paper ballots, all same-day voting. This stuff with 48 days to vote. And then they take boxes of ballots and they put them here, and they take a wheelbarrow full, they put it there. You got some, nobody knows what's going on. Why are they moving all those ballots? Why are they going? This is the most corrupt system, and that's why we have to have not a Bill Barr that's afraid to act. You need people that are really tough and really smart, and that love our country and don't care. They love our country. You got to solve this problem. But one way you can help is by just swamping them with good votes. And that's what we have to do, JD. We have to get out there and swamp them with the votes, because that gets harder. The more you get, the harder it is. You know, it's sort of a simple formula. And then it was the January 6th Unselect Committee. I love that term. I never got credit for that term. You know, they go over it like it's nothing. I say that term, I give it to the
It's very dumb. That's why nobody talks about it.
They never correct me. They say, this guy's impossible. But I love the term. I think it's one of the best, the Unselect Committee of Political Hacks and Thugs. And they have just appalling misconduct on that committee. And the two things they won't discuss on that committee are the fact that Nancy Pelosi is in charge of Capitol security. And we recommended from 10 to 20,000 soldiers be.
There is no evidence Trump ever made such a recommendation or request. It is another one of the lies. There is no such evidence.
All I did was make a speech, right? Peacefully and patriotically. I said peacefully and patriotically. And they say, oh, that's so terrible. You ever hear Maxine Waters' speeches? You ever hear some of these? You ever hear Schumer's speech in front of the Supreme Court that he should have been in trouble for that speech? And I told our Attorney General, you should look at that. If a mobster made that speech, they would have been put in jail for 10 years for what Schumer said in front of the courthouse. And he knows it's right. I pressed it very hard. I said, what he said is terrible. But the appalling misconduct is taking place now by the racist, incompetent New York State Attorney General, Letitia Peekaboo James. She's terrible. Who is presiding over record numbers of murders, rapes, drug deals, and every other form of crime. She's horrible. She doesn't give a damn about New York.
Remember that the crime rate for violent crime and property crime is higher in Oklahoma City than it is in New York City.
Opponents, that's all she cares about. She wants to go after political opponents. She ran for governor. She got so little vote. She ran for 5 weeks and she got out. She didn't even register in the polls. But yet she said, I'm going back to the Attorney General position. You know, she left the Attorney General position to run for governor. She failed, and then she went back. Just last week, at her request, a radical left lunatic judge named Engoron, Democrat, big radical left Democrat, truly hates me. An arrogant, out-of-control, Trump-hating maniac who is totally dominated by my worst enemies in the Democrat Party. This is a judge that's dominated. This is a guy that's going to make a decision.
Notice that Newsmax isn't even covering this live.
And my family. And hates Trump beyond anything you... I don't know him, never met him. But he actually said in court that, quote, he's just a bad guy, Trump. He's a bad guy. I never met the gentleman. I know nothing about him. I created thousands and thousands of jobs, built an unbelievable country. The company that I built is unbelievable.
That was a glitch.
Very little debt, unbelievable assets, great everything. It's great. And I got
this is really resonating with the dead silent audience, some of whom are already starting to leave.
I said, I want jury. No. This guy's supposed to... It's a corrupt system. New York is a very corrupt judicial system, and they better get it straightened out because businesses are leaving New York because of things like this. But they started a process of unconstitutional property confiscation, very much akin to Venezuela, Cuba, or the old Soviet Union. This case was supposed to be in front of another judge with experience, but New York State court system doesn't do that because it's corrupt. It's a corrupt system. It really is. You have a much better system in Ohio. I don't know who the hell's in charge of it, but they've done a much better job. But they should take this Engoron off the case and put somebody that can be fair. You can't have impartial. You can't have judges that are totally partial. They have their hatreds. This is a Trump hater. You can't do that. So I'm being judged by this political never-Trumper. And I'm not even allowed, think of it, I'm not allowed to have a jury. This is the beginning of communism. Likewise, a local left-wing DA in Atlanta...
Here's what should be the soundtrack to this. See if anybody can understand the connection.
Integrity. Even while Atlanta has among the highest murder rates per capita of any city in the country, they actually are higher than per capita, worse than Chicago, which is a disaster. And all of these local Democrat-run cases are being directed by Washington, D.C. It's part of the witch hunt. I've gone on the largest witch hunt in history. I have gone through the largest witch hunt in the history of our country, and it's a disgrace. And, you know, a friend of mine, very smart guy, came up to me. He said, you've been going through this for 6.5 years. You have to be the most honest person. It's true. Can you imagine 11 million pages of documents they've examined.
Like when Trump said they spied on my campaign and they hadn't spied on him. That is like really honest, you know?
That they're torturing. Think of this, about a company-owned car, didn't pay tax on a company-owned car, didn't pay tax on a company-owned apartment. They're called fringe benefits. Didn't report.
You got to pay taxes on them.
The education for his grandchildren. A very good man, 75 years old. They're torturing him because they want him to say anything bad about Trump. Say something bad. They put him in handcuffs. A friend of mine owns a big accounting firm. He said, there's never been a case like this before. They have persecuted this man in order for him to say something. And then ultimately they offer him a deal. You go to jail for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or you go to jail for many years. He said, I have to say, this is what, think of what they did. Anybody out here would probably take a deal like that. I wouldn't, I'll be honest, I wouldn't.
Right.
But they torture. And this is what they used to do and do currently in communist countries. And that's where we're going. That's where we're going. Think of it. Handcuffs, walked in front, a man that never heard of jail before.
Right.
A man that never had a problem with anything before. Handcuffs. And they perk-walked him in front of the press in handcuffs. And nobody has ever been criminally charged in this country, from what we understand, on a fringe benefit case. A company-owned car, think of that. Didn't pay tax on a company-owned car, a company-owned apartment. And they say that very few people do. How many people, I wonder, how many people here have a company-owned car? Anybody have a company? Do you pay tax? Sir, you know what? Cover your face, please. Do you pay tax? Uncle Sam, do you have a company-owned car, please?
This is crazy.
I guarantee even Uncle Sam probably doesn't pay tax, you know.
This is one of the things the IRS is supposed to actually watch out for, which is all these benefits that people get. Are you paying taxes on? It's like Trump's like almost encouraging tax fraud here.
Mar-a-Lago, in the document hoax case, totally violating my Fourth Amendment rights, and no president has ever been treated this way. Clinton, you know, the sock case, he had things in his socks.
His sock drawer.
Nothing happened to him except a great verdict. He's got a great verdict. We go by that verdict, the socks verdict. But no, he had it in his socks. You know that, right? And others took many, many documents. They take them out of the White House. They took documents. I'm the only one that can't take anything. But maybe our country would be better off if I actually had the nuclear codes, JD, because our enemies would be afraid, unlike the way they are now. If I had the nuclear codes.
Right.
Bill Clinton, don't forget, he lost the nuclear codes twice. How do you explain that to the military? I've lost the military codes. He lost the military codes twice. I didn't. They're coming after me because I'm fighting for you. That's all it is. And if I wasn't leading in all these polls, I don't know, if you find those poll numbers, you could put them up. If you find them back there, you geniuses that do this stuff, put them up. Let me know when they're up. We'll talk about them. But we have poll numbers that are through the roof, and so do Republicans. This is going to be a wave. I think this is going to be a very big wave. I hope so. Starting right here.
Let's see.
The radical left thinks by doing all these wicked and venomous things, they are making us weaker, but actually they are making us much, much stronger and more unified. That's what
I'm starting to think he maybe is not going to announce tonight, the way this is going. Very poorly.
Oh, there they are. Look, poll numbers. Okay, first one, support 86. That's good. But look at the strong support. That's for Trump. Strong support. 64, right? My eyes are okay.
This is pathetic.
Not great, but they're okay. Somewhat so. So look at those numbers. Okay, next slide. Go ahead. These guys are amazing. Please. I didn't even know we'd be doing this. Look. Now there's the...
What is happening right now? Does anybody know what's going on?
So it's Trump, 71. Ron DeSantis, 10. That's okay. Mike Pence, 7.
Boo Pence.
It has to be an incorrect poll. You know why? There's no way Cheney gets 4%. I don't believe. What a stiff. What a stiff. Wyoming did a great job. They got her out. The biggest defeat in the history of a congressperson. Nobody's ever lost by 40%. Nobody's ever lost by 40%. She did. So anyway, no, good people up there. They're all good people. Tim Scott is a great person. There are a lot of good people. Okay, what's the next one? Let's go. Do this fast. You all having a good time? Is there any time better than a Trump rally?
Isn't this
fun,
fun,
Are you having a good time, please? Huh? Sure as hell, a lot of you.
Anybody need a mercy band? Just ask the moderators. We can give mercy bands if you can't take it.
They'll show that, but they never show it these crowds because they're fake and they're dishonest and they are truly the enemy of the people. I hate to say it, and they shouldn't be. So that's the Ohio. Did you ever hear of a state called Ohio? Remember when Biden came here and he said, it's great to be with the people of Michigan? That did not play well. Remember? And when he went to Iowa and he said that he's in Idaho, right? He said, I love the potatoes. And they're saying, we don't do the potato thinking. Oh, what we go through. No, go back to that one because I love it because it's Ohio. What did it say there? Let's see. Ohio general election. Trump, 55. Biden, 35. So it hasn't changed too much since the election. It's just gotten better. So that's plus 20. Are you hearing this fake news media? You faking son of a...
This is getting even weirder than I expected.
Go to the next one. Nevada.
Imagine a world in which Trump beats Biden by 20 in Ohio.
By the way, look at your friends over there. You see that? Laxalt is up plus 5. Lombardo up against the governor. Sisolak, a real beauty he is, up 5. That's great. Trump up 12. Let's go to the next one. These are great polls. They just came out. General election, Trump plus 11 on Joe Biden. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's North Carolina. They're saying there's no way it's only 11. I don't think so. I agree. And by the way, you know who's here from North Carolina?
Pretty riveting stuff, huh? Just an electric speaker.
Laura, stand up, please. Will you go over and shake their hands, please, Laura? She's so popular.
Now it's Laura Trump.
She's so popular. Ted Budd is doing great, but he said if she ever runs, I'm out of this race, okay? Ted Budd is doing great. Laura, you just made 20 new friends, okay? And let's see. So that was North Carolina. Go ahead, next. We're way up. What's next? Isn't that nice? Look at that one.
Pretty boring rally.
Plus 13. Huh? Wow. You know what that is, don't you? You know what state that is? Look at that, plus 13. Nobody wants to see that. Look at that. Kansas. Great place. Plus 13.
You know what's really funny? Trump won Kansas by 15 in 2020. He's putting up a poll as if it's great news that shows him with a smaller lead than that which he won by in Kansas. You think Trump has any idea that's even the case?
Guy running for the Senate there too, right? A good guy, Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt is doing well. Next. Oklahoma, plus 29. I love Oklahoma. Wow. Trump 59, Biden 30. And, you know, you almost wonder, who the hell are the 30%? Who are they? Nothing good is happening in our country. And
again, Trump's bragging that he's up 29 in Oklahoma. He won it by 33 in 2020. Trump is polling worse in most of these states than the results in 2020.
Election, when you have defund the police, no voter ID, high taxes, open borders, bad military, no money spent on military. You know, I mean, how do you win elections on this stuff? No more oil, high energy prices. The only way is you cheat, okay? You know, they want no voter ID. They don't want any country ID. In other words, if you are from another country, you don't have to prove anything. You just go in and have fun, vote. because that's how they win the election. That's the only way they win, because their policy is so bad, they shouldn't even be in the elections, okay? To every citizen who's appalled by the radical left's lawlessness and corruption, this election is your chance to make your voice heard. This is a big deal. This is a big election. And early voting, which is a little concerning, because when you see early voting, I say to everybody, vote on Election Day, because it's harder for them to cheat. You know, it's much harder because they don't know how many votes they have to produce. They don't know how many ballots they have to print out. You know, you keep them in suspense, and then you say, nope, we beat you here. With your vote, you can reject left-wing tyranny and proudly declare the America must remain a free country. It's got to remain a free. This is not a free country. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would have not done the damage that Joe Biden has done to our nation in less than 2 short years. Take a look at the screen.
How would you say your mental focus is?
What's focused?
You know, Trump playing a video of Biden's glitches is not very smart, that's for sure.
He went, Donald Trump, yeah, Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump, but no more drop box. The drop boxes are just so bad. No more drop boxes. Dickinson, Holajic, and Cephahide. That was about a rhino named Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney. Real beauty. Had to give the American people their voice back by building something called Truth Central. He voted against Kate's law, and he voted for Obama.
Oh, God.
Amnesty. You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. I've had more investigations than Jesse James, Billy the Could. Some of the world's greatest cricket players, from Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli. As the great religious teacher, Swami Vivekananda once said. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation. And God bless the United States. Thank you very much. He was awarded the Bronze Star and the Combat Infantryman Badge for his service. We have to keep our country great, but it's not, I mean, for some reason, it's just not great anymore.
Right.
If you care about law and order, look, law and order. In normal times, roughly 40% of fresh vegetables and about 40% China. Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient. This is not about virtue, cycling, and signing. And the great General and President Ulysses S. Grant, he's really come back a long way over the last 10 years, hasn't he? We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. When they gaze upon Yosemite's towering sequoias, they delivered a swift and sweeping, you know that sweeping. It was swift and it was sweeping like nobody's ever seen anything happen. Units of plasma for plasma. Donate plasma. In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed, the leading woman's business. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. No, nobody has to have parental consent. And we will totally oppose the Biden administration. This administration.
He made some statements, rough statements on Jewish.
There you go. All right. So anyway, this is the last guy who should be talking about glitches.
Industry going better than it ever was before. By contrast, the radical Democrat Congress passed one of the largest tax hikes in American history. Unbelievable tax hike. Horrible tax hike. Really going to be bad for our country. Under the Trump administration, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world with no inflation. Biden and the Democrat Congress created the worst inflation in 50 years, 9.1%. But you know it's much higher than that. It's not 9.1, it's I bet you it's double than that, probably
Right.
more.
Inflation's 20%.
I rebuilt our military, including our nuclear capability and the creation of Space Force, first time in 79
The audio's
years.
collapsing.
Space Force. And you know, you have a lot of Space Force workers right here, Ohio. A lot of work is done on Space Force in Ohio. They surrendered our strength and turned Afghanistan into the greatest humiliation our country has ever had. I believe it was the most humiliating thing that's ever happened to our country.
No, when Trump won, it was.
Russia and Ukraine, with potentially hundreds of thousands of people dying, that would never have happened if I was president. It would never have happened. Even the other side admits that would not have happened. The election was rigged and stolen, and now our country is being destroyed. I ran twice, I won twice, and I did much better the second time than I did the first. Getting millions and millions more votes in 2020 than I got in 2016, and likewise getting more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. So,
meaningless when you lose by 8 million.
the first step to saving America is winning an epic victory for Republicans tomorrow. I don't have to say dates anymore. I don't have to say it's going to be in 3 weeks and 2 days. JD, all that work tomorrow, you're going to be so happy. I believe you're going to be happy. I believe it. Going to be your next senator from this great state of Ohio, JD Vance. We love you, JD. I've gotten to know him really well. He's a great guy. He didn't used to like me too much 2-3 years ago. But he likes me now, and I like him. And I don't think it changes. I have some of them, and sometimes I won't let him back in. But I met with him, and I tell you what, he gets it. He's smart. He's tough. And he was right about a lot of things, JD will fight for Ohio with every bone in his body. As a native of your state who has personally witnessed the pillaging of Ohio jobs and the devastation of Ohio communities, JD knows how important it is to have leaders who put America first and put Ohio first. He wants to put America first. They think that's such a bad thing, so bad. He's a former Marine and a Yale-educated lawyer. He's a great student. I spoke to somebody that went to Yale with him. He said he was a great student, so I might as well tell you that. Some people said, oh, don't put it out. He's elite. Well, yeah, he's elite. He's elite in intelligence, and that's what we want, right? Don't we want that?
Wow.
And he'll bring the toughness and intellectual firepower we need to champion our movement and our values in the U.S. Senate. He will fight for strong borders, fair trade, more Ohio jobs, and he will be tough as you can be on crime. JD will never be owned by the establishment. He won't be owned by me either, unfortunately. I'd love to own the guy, but I don't think he'll be there for me, but that's okay. You know what? I'm doing the right thing for the country. He's a very independent guy. And he'll be an independent senator who is loyal only to the people of Ohio. That's what he loves, the people of Ohio. He loves this state. When JD wins tomorrow night, you are going to hear the wailing and shrieking of the fake news all the way from New York to Washington, because the media will know that Ohio has just elected a truly MAGA all-star. Make America great again. He's an all-star.
Go figure.
And he has been for a long time. We're actually saying the same thing, but we're saying it differently, don't you think? You know, when I really look back, we're saying the exact same thing, just a little bit differently. JD is running against a do-nothing, showboating, radical Democrat politician named Tim Ryan.
The truth is, Tim Ryan is very centrist. There's nothing radical about Tim Ryan at all.
Oh, did I hit China hard? We took in $430 billion from China. Not one other president took in 10 cents. Ryan pretends to be a moderate, pretends to be almost a Trump supporter.
I
but
wish
he's
it was
voted
only
with
pretending.
crazy Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time over the last 2 years. 100%. And then he tries to say that he's with me. He's not with me. He supported Joe Biden's war on American energy. He voted for a massive tax increase on Ohio workers and families. And he voted for mass amnesty and free government health care for illegal aliens. He wanted them to come in. He wants the open borders, let them all come in from all over the world. even if they come from the prisons of these other places that are very tough places. Tim
Right.
Ryan declared that he is all for releasing criminals from prison and emptying out American jails, and he supports abolishing cash bail. That's the real Tim Ryan, by the way. That's not the Trump ally. Tim Ryan has also voted repeatedly to continue Democrats' war on Ohio energy workers. He wants to stop energy, and you make a fortune with energy and a fortune in jobs. Your taxes would double and triple if you ever did that.
They would not.
He voted to cancel the Keystone XL pipeline. How about that one? I started it immediately, my first day in office, and they ended it as soon as they got there. He said that a plan to eliminate coal-fired power plants was amazing.
That's a good plan.
He just loved it. He used the word amazing. And he said that he wants to get
That'd be
rid
great.
of all gas vehicles, which would decimate the Ohio auto industry.
All
He wants to
worthy
go to all
goals,
electric.
folks.
Wonderful. Great for China. Not good for us. Great for China. But just 24 hours from now, Tim Ryan is going to be out of a job. JD Vance is going to be on his way to the United States Senate. And JD is a really good man. JD, please come up.
Here we go. He'd better suck up. You've got to suck up, otherwise you're screwed. So just so people know, I'm getting reports that over on Fox, the Chiron at the bottom has said stuff like Trump expected to make big announcement and stuff like that. So we're watching it all very, very closely here.
To get out there and run up the score on these guys because we need to win, and we need to win big and take our country back. That's exactly what we're going to do. The simple thing here is we need senators who are fighters and senators who are doers. No more talking about big tech. No more talking about the border. We need people who are going to fight for the issues and actually get something done for the people of Ohio. That's what I'm going to do. Let's get out to the polls tomorrow. Thank you, Gall.
Thank you, Gall.
Thank you, JD. You're going to win big. You're going to send a signal to these people that are ruining our country. They're destroying our country. Tomorrow, you also
Yes,
need
the
to get
signal
out.
will be, we learned nothing from 2016, and we're still voting for morons.
John Husted. You got to do that. He's done a good job. He's done a good job. Mike and John have been an outstanding team who have fought tirelessly to bring jobs and factories back to Ohio. I worked with them on doing that, including the $20 billion Intel plant that will create more than 20,000 Ohio jobs. And they cut taxes, slashed regulations, and they delivered historic funding for support and for the police officers. And they've really done a job. Mike and John are running against a radical left lunatic who was a disaster as the mayor of Dayton. I got to know her when we had a terrible shooting here. Remember, I went to the hospital. I got to know her, and I said, she's not good. Nan Whaley. Well, it's not much of a race, I have to tell you. They're so far ahead. But I got to know her. She was terrible.
Yeah.
Under her watch, Dayton, Ohio, had one of the highest murder rates in the entire country, yet she backed a budget to cancel the police academy as a commissioner. She voted to defund the police. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what we need in Dayton, where crime is setting records. Let's defund the police, right? She's a high tax, high regulation, far left liberal who would demolish your economy in a matter of months. I think it would be very quick. And she would totally betray the values of the people of Ohio, who have the finest values you can have. Ohio needs to get up and just vote for these two great people, Mike DeWine and John Husted. By the way, are they here? I think so. Come on up. Well, this is a great honor. And I gave my endorsement.
This one's kind of dragging, huh? Very, very slow moving.
That's really nice. Hi, John. Great.
Oh, Trump now is covering it. I'm sorry, Newsmax. Let's switch over to the, actually, wait, you know what? Let's not. It's like 20 minutes behind again.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Oh, God.
You know, in Ohio, Mr. President, we fund the police. We've done a great job doing that. We've cut our taxes. We're moving Ohio forward. And thank you for being here to endorse JD Vance. JD is going to do an absolute phenomenal job.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you. You want to say something? I'm good. Have a good time. Thank you.
Did you want to say something? The guy said no. Who
Well,
was
that
that
was a
guy?
very nice welcome, but he's up by 25 points or something, and they should be. They should be. Thank you. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you very much. In addition to re-electing Mike and John, we need everyone to get out and vote for the Republican candidates for Ohio's Supreme Court: Sharon Kennedy, Pat Fisher, Pat DeWine. And we're also joined tonight by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose. Where's Frank?
That's important.
Hi, Frank. Nice-looking young guy, Frank. You're doing a great job. Really great job. State Treasurer Robert Sprague. Robert, thank you very much. Great job. State Auditor Keith Faber. Thank you, Keith. A man that I love, I tell you. I'm not a big lover of men. But this guy I love.
Oh my
You know, he was one of the best wrestlers in the country. His sons are both All-Americans. And I spoke to his one boy, who's actually a larger person than him, I think like a 188 or something. And he's All-American. I said, well, would you say you were better than your father? He said, sir, I wasn't even close. And he meant it, too.
Sure,
he meant
sure,
it.
sure.
But he is a fighter, just like he was as a great wrestler, virtually undefeated. And he was the NCAA champion of the country. You know, I dealt with him for a long time, and I'd look at that face. And I said, you know, those ears are a little moved. There's a little action going on with those ears.
I see people in the chat asking why he's angled to the side. This is a teleprompter. He's just reading. He's angled towards this teleprompter. That's what he's doing. That's why he's angled that way.
In the whole country, best wrestler. But I looked at it, and I looked at those ears. I shouldn't say this because I've never told this. I said, that guy had some things going on with the fighting stuff. But he is such a warrior and such an incredible guy. Is he here? Is he here? Come here. Come here. I love this guy. Come here, Jim.
Who's he even calling up? Oh, it's Jim Jordan.
They've
Oh
heard
my
from
God.
me, Mr. President, but they want you back here. I'll just say this. My favorite scripture verse is 2 Timothy 4:7. It
That's
says,
Trump's favorite,
fight the
too.
good fight, finish the course, keep the faith. And I tell folks, that's a verse for our country.
Right.
Fight, finish, keep. Words of action, not timid words, not sissy words, words that we associate with America and words that we associate with the best president we've ever had, President Trump.
What a
God bless
thinker.
you all.
What a thinker, that Jim Jordan, huh? Really smart guy.
Thank you, Jim, very much.
Tim.
And a friend of Jim's and a friend of all of us, Warren Davidson. Warren, thank you very much. Good job you're doing. Mike Carey, and a person who, Mike, where's Mike? Hi, Mike. Great. Good job, Mike. Warrior. Another warrior, a person who's very shy, very timid. We're trying to get her to get a little tougher.
The audio is just really degenerating.
She's terrific. She did a commercial. Yes, yes, yes. Somebody can break into my house. We'll treat him very nicely. But first he's got to go through this. And I said, that's a hell of a commercial. But she's great. And she's done a tremendous job. And she's highly respected.
No, she's
highly
not.
respected. And she just won with almost like everybody voted for her. She's great. Thank you very much, Marjorie. It's an honor to have you. Congressional candidates. Oh, I love this guy, Max Miller. Where's Max? So, where is Max? I'll tell you, the job he's done,
Yep.
right? And he was with me for 4 years. I know him maybe almost as well as that guy right there, Jim. But Max is going to be a great congressman, and he turned out to be an incredible campaigner. You know, they're having a hard time with the district, and it kept getting worse and worse. They got him. It was a Trump plus 20, then it was a Trump plus 10. Then it was Trump +2. They kept playing. And he kept saying, don't worry about it, sir. I'm going to win anyway. Doesn't matter. And then it went the other way, where it's a little Democrat. He said, don't worry about it. And then in the end, it became like a Trump +18. I don't know how the hell you pulled that off. But you know what? You did a great job for me, Max, and I'm here for you, and you're going to have a great career. So,
Right.
a young man and a great man grew up right here. Thank you very much, Max. And J.R. Majewski, you know, he suffered a lot of false statements. And I just want to tell you, everyone knows all of the people that I've just named, but they have my complete and total endorsement. You know that. And they treated JR very unfairly. They made up a lot of stories. He's a tremendous warrior and a great gentleman, and I think he's going to do very well tomorrow. But I think you got treated very unfairly. I don't even know what's going to happen. You know, the fake news went after him, and we don't know what's going to happen. But I think you're going to have a good result.
Let's hope he loses.
Because the people know that you are a legitimate hero.
He's
you
not.
know who told me that?
He lied.
You know
about
who
his
told me
military
that?
service.
Jim Jordan. That's all I have to hear when Jim says it. So good luck tomorrow, fellas. Good luck tomorrow. Ohio Republican Party Chairman, a friend of mine, Bob Paduchek. Bob, great. You're doing great, Bob. The party's doing great. And a man that's the greatest buyer of commercials in the history of our country, Mike Lindell.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
He's the greatest in history at buying commercials. And he's a patriot, too. You know, the FBI raided him. They took his phone. I don't know what the hell they're going to learn about pillows. I don't know why they want. They'll know everything there is to know about pillows. Thank you, Mike. When Republicans take back Congress this week, we will fight for the people of Ohio, and we will win for the people of Ohio. One of the first things we must do is stand up for, can you believe this, parental rights?
Oh, no.
Whoever thought?
Here we go.
Can you believe? I think I'm called a politician. I hate to call myself a politician, but a politician would have to stick up for parental rights. The parents have their rights, but now we have to fight because the radical left lunatics want to take parents' rights away from them. But we won't let that happen. We will get critical race theory out of our schools, out of our military, and out of every part of our federal, state, and local governments. And at long last, every parent in America must be empowered to opt out of the forced indoctrination in the classroom and send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or home school of their choice. We will also, if you don't mind, it's politically incorrect, they tell me, but I'm okay with it. We will keep men like Jim Jordan out of women's sports. Okay? I want to find a woman that can beat Jim. I'd pay a lot to watch it. I'd pay a lot of money to watch that. No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. I mean,
There
can you
it is.
imagine they actually do it without parental consent? The country's going crazy. Another one of our highest priorities under a Republican Congress will be to stop left-wing censorship and to restore free speech in America.
Free speech has gotten so free, it'll cost you $8 on Twitter.
It's better than Twitter. It's better than all of them. Just go out and get it. It's hot as a pistol. And everywhere the Republican Party has the chance, we must pass critical we have to do this.
That's a glitch.
Election integrity reforms.
That was a glitch.
Including universal voter ID, citizenship confirmation. You know, they're fighting us on citizenship confirmation. Can you believe it? Now, the only reason somebody wouldn't want to do that, think of it, is they have to cheat. Okay? Common thing. Who wouldn't want that? We don't want to learn where you come from. What country do you come from? You're not allowed to ask a question like that as they go to vote for your local representative. No more fake drop boxes, JD. No private money pouring into local election offices. And ultimately, we need same-day voting with only paper ballots and voter ID. And you'll save a lot of money on the machines. You're going to save a lot of money on the machine. Now think of it. Pennsylvania, 3-4 days. They're going to be 3-4 days late. What a joke. What a joke. There's something going on. We're just hours away from the most important midterm election in American history.
True.
And we need a landslide so big that the radical left cannot rig it or cannot steal it. Everybody needs to get out and vote. And if you care about election integrity, volunteer as an election worker, a poll watcher, a poll challenger. That's what you have to do, because they do it, and they do it in a very rough manner. But we're going to swamp them. This is the year we're going to take back the House. We're going to take back the Senate, and we're going to take back America. And in 2024, most importantly, we are going to take back our magnificent White House.
Okay. Is he going to do it?
We'll take it back. Together we will fight.
I guess not.
For more jobs for Ohio families, fair trade for Ohio workers, and more Ohio factories forging more products stamped with Uncle Sam, the beautiful phrase, made in the USA, Uncle Sam. We will shut down Biden's border disaster, reinstitute our strong Remain in Mexico policy, strengthen the patriots, and they are indeed patriots of ICE and Border Patrol, and we will again end catch and release. We will end chain migration. We will end the visa lottery. And we will end illegal immigration in our country once and for all. We want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. We will stop the crime wave in Democrat-run cities. We will give our police the power they need and the respect that they deserve. And we will not take legal protection away from our police. They want to take protection so that if somebody sues a police person for doing their job, they have to go out and hire their own lawyer. That's not a good idea. We will restore law and order in America. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus upon the world. $65 trillion in damage. They can't pay that much, but something's going to happen. We will abolish all COVID mandates and lockdowns.
There are none.
And rehire every patriot who was fired from the military with an apology and full back pay.
Not going to happen. I bet you anything that does not happen.
And we will defend our Constitution, we will defend the Second Amendment, and we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founding. We will restore patriotic education to our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. Always respect our flag. In conclusion, our MAGA movement, Make America Great Again, is by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country.
Is it now?
They never challenged that. They've never challenged it. It's an amazing thing. They wouldn't challenge it. If I said anything slightly wrong, they challenge, but they can't challenge that. Together, we are standing up against some of the most menacing forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. Despite great outside dangers, our biggest threat remains the sick, sinister, and evil people from within our country. You know who I'm talking about. You see them all the time. But no matter how big or powerful the corrupt radical left Democrats that we are fighting against may be, you must never forget, this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. That's
Right.
who it belongs to. This is your home. This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right. From Akron to Toledo, from Cleveland to Columbus, from Youngstown to Dayton, you inherit the legacy of generations of Americans who risked their everything for the beloved country that they love so much. Ohio is the state that gave us American heroes, icons, and legends with names like Neil Armstrong, Annie Oakley, and the great general and president Ulysses S. Grant.
Ulysses.
And this is the state that gave us legions of
We literally had that on our glitch compilation, Ulysses.
Who built this country with the sweat of their brows and the strength of their spines. And they
What about Billy the Could?
But they also gave us something very, very special, the goodness of their souls. Your Ohio ancestors fought the battles, they broke the barriers, they conquered the unknown dangers, they pushed into uncharted frontiers, and they made America into the greatest nation in the history of the world.
Here it is. Here it is.
But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, and where the stock market finished the worst first half of the year since 1872. Likewise, we are.
Here's my version of it. Okay. Look, having nuclear, my uncle was a great professor and scientist and engineer, Dr. John Trump at MIT. Good genes, very good genes. Okay, very smart. Wharton School of Finance, very good, very smart. You know, if you're a conservative Republican, if I were a liberal, okay, I ran as a liberal Democrat, they would say I'm one of the smartest people anywhere in the world. It's true. But when you're a conservative Republican, they try. Oh, they do a number. That's why I start off. Went to Wharton. Was a good student. Built a fortune. You know, I have to give my credentials all the time. Anyway, Dr. John Trump.
Even though they can't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China, when an unlimited amount of gasoline is available inexpensively in the United States, but it is not available in China. We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production in the United States, just as the price of oil reached an all-time high.
We did not end production in the United States.
We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. We are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief, and for 4 straight years, it didn't happen. And China, with Taiwan, is next. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against opposing political parties like never before. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie and say it was fact, and pays a man $200,000 to get Trump. Go out and get Trump. Where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud. And we have a man who is the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead, and is now casually talking about nuclear war with Russia, which would be World War III and far more devastating than any of the previous world wars.
Sure.
Because of the weaponry that no one can ever even imagine or think about. It is so powerful. We are a nation that no longer has a free press. Fake news is all you get, and they are indeed the enemy of the people. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant and out of control.
They've banned free speech.
And where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And just 2 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea in check. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. They respected us more than they ever respected us.
Sounds pretty bad.
And perhaps most importantly, we're a nation that no longer is respected or listened to anywhere around the world. We are a nation that in many ways has become a joke. We are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, and faith.
Oh, the Mike Pillow ad is perfectly timed.
Collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the very bottom of every single list. We are a nation where large packs of sadistic criminals and thieves are allowed to go into stores and openly rob them, beat up the workers, and kill the customers, leave with armloads of goods, but with no retribution, where the authority of our great police has been taken, where their families and pensions have been threatened, and their lives would be destroyed for the mere mention of the words law enforcement. We are a nation where the people are allowed to murder, kill, rob, and rape innocent victims, and they have no cash bail, and they're back on the streets allowed to do it again in a matter of hours.
Right.
We are a nation where fentanyl and all other forms of illegal drugs are easier to get than formula for our beautiful little babies. A nation whose once revered airports are dirty, crowded, a mess, an unsightly, horrible mess. You sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave and they have no idea when it will. Where ticket prices have tripled, they don't have the pilots to fly the planes, they don't seek qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they're doing. We are
On some flights, they don't even allow peanuts.
Power and its strength. And we are a nation that has just plain lost its way. But we are a nation that is not going to allow this horror to continue.
Horror.
2 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will be a great nation again. But not to detract from tomorrow's very important, even critical election. And I would say, in the strongest way, it's a country-saving election, specifically including the election of all the people that I'm going to name. I'm going to be making a very big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, boy.
We want nothing to detract from the importance of tomorrow. You understand that, JD?
Right.
So I'm going to go over a list of people, and I think you'll find it really inspiring.
Oh, no. When Trump does lists, it's so bad.
So we must first elect JD Vance for the Senate in Ohio, Mike DeWine for governor in Ohio, Dr. Oz for Senate in Pennsylvania. Doug Mastriano for governor in Pennsylvania.
He's going to lose.
Blake Masters for Senate in Arizona.
He may win.
Carrie Lake for governor in Arizona.
Sadly, she may win.
A great guy who I've known for a long time. He fought with Jim Jordan and all the rest on the fake impeachments. Lee Zeldin for governor in New York. He's doing great. One of the greatest athletes you'll ever meet, Herschel Walker for Senate in Georgia. And Brian Kemp for governor in Georgia. Adam Laxalt for Senate in Nevada. And Joe Lombardo for governor.
This I can tell you, Trump is not going to be 100% in his endorsements tomorrow. That's for sure.
DeSantis for governor in Florida. Tudor Dixon for governor in Michigan. And Ron Johnson for Senate in Wisconsin. Tim Michaels for governor in Wisconsin. Chuck Grassley for Senate in Iowa. And Kim Reynolds for governor in Iowa. Katie Britt for Senate in Alabama. Kelly
Isn't this insane?
Senate in Alaska. Mike Dunleavy for governor in Alaska. John Bozeman for Senate in Arkansas. Sarah Sanders, did you ever hear of her? She's great. For governor in Arkansas. Leora Levy for Senate in Connecticut. Mike Crapo for Senate in Idaho. Jerry Moran for Senate in Kansas. Derek Schmidt for governor in Kansas. Rand Paul for Senate in Kentucky. John Kennedy for Senate in Louisiana. Eric Schmidt for Senator in Missouri. Ted Budd for Senate in North Carolina. John Hoeven for Senate in North Dakota.
Oh, God.
James Lankford for Senate in Oklahoma.
Lankford is scary.
Mark Wayne Mullen, who's a great guy, great future, for Senate in Oklahoma. Kevin Stitt for governor
There it is.
in Oklahoma. Tim Scott, another great guy, for Senate in South Carolina. Henry McMaster doing an unbelievable job for governor in South Carolina. Mike Lee for Senate in Utah. Gerald Malloy for Senate in Vermont. Darren Bailey, he's doing great, for governor in Illinois, and Illinois has to defeat Pritzker. Darren's going to do it. Dan Cox for governor in Maryland. Jeff Deal for governor in Massachusetts. Scott Jensen for governor in Minnesota. Mark Ronchetti for governor of New Mexico. Kristi Noem for governor of South Dakota. Bill Lee for governor in Tennessee.
This is completely insane. Like, I mean,
all of our wonderful attorney general candidates, Abe Hamadeh in Arizona, Tim Griffin in Arkansas,
oh my God,
Ashley Moody in Florida, Brenna Byrd in Iowa, Matt DePerno in Michigan,
Swami
Sigal
Vive
Chattah,
Kamunand,
Michael Henry,
Suchin Tendolkar,
Dave Yost in Ohio,
Virat Kohli,
Carolina, and Ken Paxton in Texas. And all other Trump-endorsed Republicans up and down the line, including Mark Fincham, Jim Marchant, Christina Caramo. It was hard-working patriots like you who built this country, and it is hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will stand up to the radical left Democrats, and we will...
I'm going to write in Vive Kamunundun.
There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. And we will never, ever, ever back down. As long as we are confident, united, and loyal to the cause, the tyrants we are fighting do not stand even a chance, because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and to God alone. The silent majority is back and stronger than ever before. We will take our country back. My fellow citizens, this incredible journey we are on together has only just begun, and it is time to start talking about greatness, 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 greatness again for our country. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with the help of everyone here tonight and citizens all across our land, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. Sure. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. JD, go get him. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, a completely depressing event. Donald Trump making it clear he will be making an announcement next Tuesday at Mar-a-Lago. Of course, I will plan to cover it. If and when the timing is announced, please let me know. Presumably, the announcement that he is running for president. I have to tell you, I think to some degree this pre-announcement, if anything, can only hurt Republicans tomorrow. Tomorrow is a critical day. Everybody should vote. Everybody should vote. If you start thinking to yourself, oh no, my vote won't matter. My one vote never makes a difference. There are hundreds of thousands of people sharing that sentiment. And if all of us stay home, we lose. Okay? If all of us stay home, we lose. I am covering elections live tomorrow. Please join me tomorrow. Please join me tomorrow. Please join me tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It's free after all. Make sure you're following me on Twitch. Make sure you've liked on Facebook. But we are trying to pump and pump and pump the YouTube subscriber numbers. As you head out, hit the subscribe button. We're streaming daily. We will be here tomorrow. Okay? Vote. It may not be as bad as the polls suggest. It really may not. Okay? We're not throwing in the towel. We're not throwing in the towel. I believe indeed that, yes, the polling may slightly be a little too generous towards Republicans. Okay? We'll start between 7 and 8 tomorrow. I will set the live stream and everybody can see it. Nobody has sung yet. Forget about the fat lady has not yet sung. Nobody has sung yet. Okay? So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Let's do the thing. Let's make it happen. Don't troll. Don't be a horrible person. Don't send me absurd emails. All right? See everybody tomorrow.